Hey peeps, welcome in. It's me, Pigeon Wishes, your resident Pigeon Fae from the UK. And we're back to doing more methods, the detective competition. Hi Mort, hi Ghosty, hi Junie. How's everyone doing today? I'm doing good. I had a bit of an incident, family incident before stream, but it was sorted, so we're good, we're Gucci. PP? Ghosty PP? Question mark? I'm good. I'm alright. Thank you for asking. It was a small incident, but it's sorted. Something to do with my younger brother. SMH, younger brothers. Am I right? Am I right or am I right? Younger brothers. Oof. I'm sorry you had a bad night, Mort. Hopefully you can really have a good day just chilling with the rest of this game. I'm hoping that we can try and get through the majority of what's left. Because I don't know if it is exactly 100 chapters left. So like, if it is just 100 chapters total, then we're near the end. And it seems like we're getting close to the end. Last time, we found out that Red July and Sakals both flunked the competition. They both, from what I could tell, based on their characters, deliberately didn't enter any of the doors to solve a mystery. Because last time, they all got to the last area of the competition. They found out who's running the competition. And how this round of the competition works is that each detective has an individual crime to solve. And if they don't get to one of the 8 doors, then they're out. Unless they are unable to solve the mystery, in which case someone can take their spot. But we found out that Red July and Sakals are the 2 that didn't get into a door this time. Which feels intentional. It feels very intentional considering what we know about those characters. Also, I am very Urple right now. I'm feeling particularly Urple. I'm very Urple. Why Urple? Just very, very, very Urple. God, I'm hoping we finish this game today, because I don't want to take another break just to have one more stream for this game, because I'm really enjoying it. So we might do an extra long stream today. We'll see how it goes. We might do an extra long stream. Like, popping myself in the corner, getting my drinks ready. I got my cup of tea. I got a Lady Grey. Got a drink. Got my thermos. It's full of Ribena. We're ready to go. We're schmoovin'. Urple. Thank you, Ghosty. Who are we playing as this time? I think Sakals. Yeah, Mort's always purple, except that one time he was pink, and that scared me. I had fear in my heart. I had fear in my heart and soul the one time that Mort was pink. It was illegal. A crime. No, Junie, you're pink. I'm Urple. If you were a purple bunny, you'd be a FNAF. There I was. The game master had just told us he was some rich guy named Conver Velasquez. Of course, it sounded super fake. I trusted him before during the Invisible Man incident. No, I wasn't so sure. But whatever. It was literally my job to figure stuff out. And I'd figure him out eventually. In that moment, I was more concerned with remembering the complicated rules he was throwing at us. I was too busy laughing at the name Conver Velasquez to pay too much attention.
Hurry to your rooms. Now.
What? Running to our rooms? We got rooms? What the hell was going on? What is up with Sakals? This is different. Oh! Did his alternate personality take over accidentally? Oh no! Why do I get the feeling that that's Sakals? Because Sakals has dissociative identity disorder. He's got a second personality that was in the competition as well. And that personality is a criminal. So do we think that we're actually playing as the alternate personality? Because they don't change appearance. Great. Just great. I hadn't acted fast enough. No, I was left out. What was I going to do? Twiddle my thumbs? Well, maybe that would be a good way to pass the time. Couldn't rule it out. I decided to head back to the foyer. I'm already bored. Would the game master have a chat with me? Nah, he was probably busy with the various detectives. Guess I'm locked out. Guess I won't even be in the running for the 6th stage. How pathetic. It was pretty pathetic. But suddenly, a wickedly clever thought crossed my mind. Well, I've got nothing to lose. Hey, Game Master. Buddy.
You should not be bothering me at this important time, Detective Slakes. You were locked out of the room, and those are the rules. Sorry. You'll be eliminated once everyone has finished solving their mysteries. In the meantime, you can find a collection of Parker Brothers games in the...
No thanks. Hey, I was wondering. Why isn't this room a mystery room? I had a criminal living in my brain. He solved mysteries for me, and I created them for him. But he'd been kicked out of the criminal side of the contest.
I see you're planning to create your own mystery and have Sakals solve it, and you're wondering if I would add your mystery to the official roster of rooms so you aren't eliminated. Very funny. No, of course not. Sakals was eliminated. Goodbye.
Well, it was a long shot. Wait, Sakals was eliminated? Wasn't that an odd thing to say? Game Master, are you telling me I can't do this because I can't make up a mystery? Are you telling me I can't do this because Sakals was eliminated?
Oh, you picked up on that, Yes, that's right. You were relying on your alter ego, Sakals, who, if I understand correctly, is the one who solves mysteries. The reason that's relevant is because that in order for you to use your method, you were registered as 2 separate contestants. A criminal who has a detective as their split personality was allowed to create crimes, and a detective who was a criminal as their split personality was allowed to solve crimes. But now the criminal has been eliminated, meaning you don't have the authority to create crimes in the contest anymore.
It was more complicated than I thought it was. I tried to follow through the logic. So you're saying I'm only allowed to solve crimes. I'm not allowed to create crimes.
You got it.
Well, crap. Thought I'd found a loophole.
I really shouldn't be saying this, but supposing there was an entirely different circumstance. For example, a detective who solved crimes had a split personality who created them. That would possibly change things somewhat.
So if Sakals create a crime instead of solving it, I would, but that guy can't create mysteries, and I can't solve them. It would probably end up being really, really lame.
It's up to you.
Up to me. The Game Master had come up with a contrived way for me to still participate in the contest. If I didn't agree to it, I'd be throwing all my hard work in the trash. But could I do it? Could I really solve a mystery? It had to be possible. After all, somewhere, those skills are hidden inside me. I just needed something extra. Something to boost my confidence. Okay, I'll do it. But on one condition, and I'll tell you, you're interested in seeing how this plays out, so I know I have leverage. Sakals gets to write me a hint, and I won't be able to look at it unless I'm really stuck. Does that make sense?
Certainly. But since I granted you this second chance and this hint, if I don't like the mystery Skulls comes up with, I get to reject it. You'll then be eliminated at once. You won't even find out who the winner of the time contest is. Sound fair?
It's the fairest you've been all contest. I'm in.
Great. You can find some markers and paper on the cupboard beyond the lab balcony. You won't have access to the dummies or official evidence. You'll have to make do with that. Got it.
Yeah, sounds good. Thanks. Could already see a few possibilities for mysteries. I just had to trust Sakals, which was a very unfortunate position to be in. Would he really be able to come up with a good enough mystery for the Game Master? Well, it was out of my hands.
Well, Detective Slakes, welcome to the mystery you created. I'm Game Master Conver. Don't waste my time.
This mystery looks pretty good.
Here's the case file.
Case file. Stage 5 foyer. It's about time. Mr. Tick was found dead at 7:03 p.m. Miss Kildum was seen in the area around 6:01 p.m. and was arrested. However, she claims the true culprit was Mr. Guilty, who was seen in the area at 12:03 p.m. These I like how this looks like it was fucking handwritten by fucking Sakals. We met Sakals in a previous case, his alter personality. And he's like quite childish. So they made it look like it was done with a crayon. Good for you. Good game. This game's good. I just like this game. We should definitely play the prequel at some point.
Turns out Sakals was able to create a good enough mystery to please me. Now you must solve it. Good luck.
Good going, Sakals. First time I'd ever thought that. I found my pocket. Good. There's a piece of paper in there. The hint. Now I just had to solve what he created for me. Sakals had drawn a pair of footprints standing just beyond the banister. If I had to guess, there was where the culprit stood. There was a red line on the clock. It looked like blood. Mr. Tick drawn crudely in crayon. It looked like his head had been bashed in with the clock. Interesting. Seemed to be all the evidence. Time to put the pieces together. So the cause of death is pretty clear. Culprit simply loosened the clock from the wall and dropped it when Mr. Tick was underneath. The real question is, who's done it, as they say? Case file says that Mrs. Kildum was in the area near the time the body was discovered, but Mr. Guilty was in the area at 12:03 p.m. My brain already hurts. There was obviously something pointing to which suspect it was. But what was that something? Hi, Sorul. Welcome in, hun. There was something about the footprints. They did look more like men's shoes, which would mean it was Mr. Guilty, but on the other hand they were so poorly drawn it was hard to tell. And it wasn't like Miss Kildum couldn't have worn men's shoes to throw me off. It's something these types of mysteries usually have. Dying message. Dying message points to which person was the real culprit. And something came to mind. The line of blood on the clock. Looked like it was pointing to 6 p.m. Mr. Tick with his dying breath threw 6 p.m. on the clock, which points to Miss Kildum. I was getting somewhere for sure, but something seemed off. It's too simple. What could I be missing? It's something I didn't realise before about the clock. It fell upside down. Mr. Tick in his last moments may not have realised this. So he drew a line to indicate 6 p.m. What he meant to indicate 12, which means Mr. Guilty killed him. Yes, this was good. But, still felt like I was missing something. Right. Why was I so bad at solving mysteries? Ever since I'd hit my head, all my detective abilities had been transferred over to Sakals, creating mysteries and solving mysteries. Turns out they are completely different skills. You could be great at one, but terrible at the other. That's true. I'm pretty good. I think I would be really shit at writing a detective thing. I think I wouldn't be particularly good at writing a detective thing, but I'm pretty good at solving them. I agree with you. I agree with you, Slakes. I think they are very different skills. Writing a good mystery and solving one is very different. Oh, right. I don't have to guess. I have a hint. I pulled the paper from my pocket. Wow. Sakals, always betraying me. Well, I'm not going to stand around here forever. Hold on. There was something obvious I was missing. Something that should have been obvious from the start. I was so caught up in deciphering the dying message. I didn't even question why that was the dying message. Normally a dying message is a clue that points to the name of the true culprit. Makes sense because that's the most useful information. A la the first case of Danganronpa. A game which we will probably also play on this channel one day. When I get over how unbearably cringe it would be to see me play that game. Not because the game is cringe, but because I was like a massive fan of that game, and I need to like erase the memories of me being a teenage fan of that game from my brain before I play it. If I was Mr. Tick, I just beamed on the head with a clock, and I knew who did it. What reason I'd have to write the time of death on the clock face? There's no way he could have known time of death would be relevant. The only person who needed to write the time of death on the clock was none other than Miss Kildum. She was seen in the area close to the time of death. That made her the most suspicious. She wrote a dying message on the clock, make it look like Mr. Guilty did it at 12 PM. Wow, I just solved my first mystery in maybe in decades. Kind of a satisfying feeling. Maybe I didn't need Sakals after all. What am I talking about? Of course I needed Sakals. Sakals and you are two sides of the same coin. You're meant to go together. One creates crimes, one solves crimes, and that's how it is. Right. Submit.
You are correct. Your score on your own mystery is 100%.
You made it sound much less impressive.
I will not be allowed to leave this room until everyone has solved their mysteries. Very clever, Slakes. You managed to convince me to let you participate, despite not reaching a room. That has never happened before. It's probably worth some points. But I'm not the one who will ultimately decide who wins.
I'd really outfoxed the Game Master. In a way, that was much more impressive than solving a silly mystery. Couldn't wait to see who would win. Ooh, we get to play as Red July. 82. I was expecting to not play as her until later. I thought they'd save her for last, because there's still characters we haven't played as in the, like, group of 10. Okay. And we know Honor isn't in the contest anymore. Honor got kicked out at some point off screen. Unless this is Honor again. I'm constantly paranoid that Red July is actually Detective Honor. After they pulled that fucking bait and switch at the beginning. Because they've done it a few times where Honor was taken over for someone. So I'm forever paranoid that Red July is not Red July. They set that up and now I'm forever paranoid about it. Okay. Let's play the Carmen Sandiego character. Chapter 82. Where in the world is Red July? Those Slakes managed to find a way to remain viable in the contest. What about the most consistently top-ranked detective in the contest? Red July. It'd been several minutes since the game master told me to wait. What was taking the other detectives so long? Oh well, couldn't be too hard on them. They didn't have my fresh style and they didn't bring the laughs, as they say. If only more of them wore burlap suits. That was likely the issue. A knock? It's there.
Red July.
Red July who?
The one you know from the contest.
That wasn't funny.
Get serious, 795.
Get serious? Huh? Get serious?
It looks like Detective Slakes and I could not find a room. This door was my last hope. I suppose this means I won't be advancing in the contest. Only myself to blame, really. So farewell.
I heard her walk away. What a pickle this is. A pickle. Apparently there was a sandwich to go with the pickle. The pickle by itself was no good. Was there anything I could do to create that sandwich? Put some bread and cheese in the situation. What about turkey or ham? Was there any turkey or ham to be found? Focus. What was I thinking about? Red July. Nell's favourite detective. Most people's favourite detective. Not unpopular clowns like myself. This stage's rules were unfair, if they wouldn't allow Red July to even participate. But still, the contest had always been unfair. Am I being too selfish? Was this my fault for leaping ahead of everyone else? No. It wasn't my fault that they didn't have the wild and extreme parkour skills. But still. What was I doing? Why had I leaped in front of everyone else? I didn't want to win the contest. If I won the contest, I would just be alone. There wouldn't be anyone to laugh at. Laugh with. Or laugh to. And that was what the point was. What would I even say? Oops, I won the contest. Sorry, everyone. So that would be a big disappointment. There was no way for me to fix the situation, so I had to just live with it. Clown boy, don't have an existential crisis now. You're doing so well. You figured out their bullshit fucking... You figured out the bullshit lame-ass crime where they just fucking drowned someone in a fishbowl by hanging them upside down. Wait, wasn't there something... There was something strange about the rules of this stage. If I was right, Rule 1, subheading 2. If a detective doesn't make it in a mystery room, they are eliminated. Rule 1, subheading 3. However, if one of the detectives gives the wrong answer to the mystery, the room will unlock for someone else to solve it. Someone just needed to give the wrong answer. Seems the ship sailed here. I already gave the correct answer. Unless... Game Master Greg, can I revise my answer? I don't understand why a detective would want to revise their answer after they got it right. However, with most rules in the contest, you won't find out unless you ask. It's always been possible for detectives to ask to revise their answers after submitting them, whether right or wrong, as long as they're still in the mystery's location. It's just that before, not only would they leave the location immediately, but they were ranked based on time, so it would have been counterproductive. I barely listened to any of that. What you're saying I can, right? Yes. Okay, my new answer to this mystery is that Mr. Turner killed herself. She tied herself to a chair and died from loss of blood circulation. That was wrong. Greg, my dearest friend, best friend. That's the point. Dance for me, silly man. Dance! He has the soul of a dancer. If you submit the incorrect answer, you'll be disqualified from the... Submit. That sure was drawn out, huh? I wonder what the new wings they have at the wing shop. Detective 795, you have been disqualified from the room. Please leave this room and find another one. Spoiler alert, there are any other open rooms. That's right. I was looking forward to ranking with the other detectives. Oh well. Look on the bright side. I'm just helping someone who actually wants to win the contest. It's been a barrel of laughs, but I've solved enough mysteries. Oh, it'll be easy to get to be Detective 800 now. Please leave the room. Alright, I'm going. This is what I wanted. There were certain detectives who I thought sucked all the air out of the room. Made it all about myself with gimmicks and jokes. Those detectives couldn't be more wrong. I was all about propping others up. Or at least, I wanted to think of myself that way. Maybe those detectives were right, but if they were, then I'd just give them a delightful surprise. Boy's gone. Meaning if Clown Boy is gone, he's the only one been kicked out. Cause Slake's found another way. Damn. No more Clown Boy. Farewell, my sweet prince. Farewell, sweet prince. May we see you again in another life. Single tear rolls down my cheek. Chapter 83. Full Osmosis. Red July, top-ranked detective in the contest, was automatically eliminated. But now, thanks to Detective 795, she's been given a second chance. It's strange to be around the others like this. I'd spent most of the contest away from them. My method filled me with so many thoughts. Talking to others was just too overbearing. They did not have what it took to survive the contest. They were playing with only a few notes of the scale, whereas I had all 12 tones. I could only pity them.
Hurry to your rooms, now.
They shoved and pushed at each other. I was at the back of the crowd. I didn't realise we would all be rushing. Like a flock of common geese. I, who had knocked me over like a child in a common game of dominoes. Was it Mackle? She had no respect for others. Was she the child so set at her toys? Did she have no respect for her comrades in deduction? I got up and began my search. No use. There was nowhere else to go. I was lost, like a snowman blown away by a harsh wind. I would have to be content with that, as with the snow woman. Because the wind is only nature's breath. And who would fault nature's breath for being a little harsh? I decided to knock on a nearby door. Who had decided to take my mystery from me? Who's there? It was the clown detective. He was exactly like an Oreo, cheap and common. After a brief conversation, I had somehow convinced him to give the wrong answer to the mystery. Now I would have a chance to set this foolishness right, and put all those other detectives in their place. Thank you, 795. Gratitude, a courtesy that one must extend, even if it is not felt. No big deal. He wasn't leaving. He was standing in my way. I knew what he wanted. A pellet of wisdom. They all wanted to talk to the famous Red July, and learn my secrets. But it was a natural ability, one that even I could not fully control. All I could do was toss out intricate metaphors. They are always satisfied with them. The tide of the ocean always washes you somewhere anew. I never thought about it that way. Huh. That was really profound. Where will it wash me, I wonder? Anyway, I should get out of your way now. We're lucky to have you. Finally, I could at last solve the mystery. I don't like Red July. She seems like a bitch. Right? She's just mean. Like, she's acting nice. But her internal monologue, she's just mean. She's too big for her britches, I think, and I don't like people like that, who think too highly of themselves, even if they are correct. Have some humbleness. I had a very fickle method. It had nearly failed me the past 4 stages. Would it spatter out once and for all? Yeah, it's very condescending. You're no better than any of these detectives. They all solve crimes. You all work to solve crimes. That is the whole point. You're doing a public service, but you seem to be taking it as if you're just better than everyone, and I don't like that. Detective Red July. This is a bit unusual. I'm Game Master Greg. Did you expect a friendly chat? Fraternising with those running the contest seemed like a breach of the rules, even if it had never been explicitly stated. And besides, I wasn't here to make friends. Okay. Here's the case file. We've seen this before. How did she die? Here's the case report. I know you'll do great. Of course I would do great. It was what was expected of me. And I always exceeded expectations. My osmosis had come through for me, as it always did under a little extra taste of stress. This mystery is simple. Mr. Turner tied Mrs. Turner to the chair and then hung her upside down from the beam, dunking her head in the fishbowl, drowning her. It was so simple, it was beneath me, and even the clown. But being a foolish character, he was probably delighted to solve it. I was not so easily impressed. You are correct. Your score in this mystery is 100%. You will not be allowed to leave this room until everyone has solved their mysteries, so sit tight. When I won the 5th stage, and won the 6th stage, that was when my work would really begin. I still had my doubts about those game masters. There was something big they weren't telling anyone, but I could not see it in my periphery just yet. I waited for the game master to announce it when it was time to leave. I don't like Red July. It's time. Please leave your rooms, detectives. The winner of the 5th stage is about to be announced. Chapter 84. The Worst Best. The detectives have now solved all the mysteries of the 5th stage. The question is, who will win and go to face the mastermind in stage 6?
Seems everyone has solved their mysteries. I hope you enjoyed the stage as much as I did. There can only be one winner of the 5th stage in this mysterious detective contest, and we've chosen one.
Not me, folks.
Huh?
I can't look. Good night. Get it over with, please. Only I have the teeth to rip into the master criminal. Ouch.
Remember, this stage we tossed out the time-based rankings, and set out as Steam Detective Game Masters evaluated each of you. Come to their conclusion. Mrs. Detective Enns, you exhibited quite a great deal of skill, and knowledge of poisons and ability to understand the victim's pain firsthand gave you a unique handle on the mystery.
Thanks.
Detective Evereve, though we were using a Ouija board, the Detective Game Masters have concluded it contains no special powers at all. Your real powers are your powers of deduction. It also discloses a significant amount of skill.
What? The Ouija board is 100% real, everybody, I swear.
Detective Newman, your ability to determine taste is impressive, but I wish you wouldn't keep stealing those dummies. Where were you hiding them?
I'll never tell.
Detective Salette, what was that? I'm not sure the criminal would be safe in a crime scene with you. Nevertheless, you did solve the mystery. Here comes the roast. Bring the heat. Game Master, I dare you. Detective Mackle, you solved the mystery efficiently, and your knowledge of objects and materials is exceedingly useful. It does make us wonder if you could be that good with interviewing suspects.
Shut up. Everyone says that to me. You don't need to talk to anyone to solve a crime. All the answers are right there with the evidence.
Detective 795 disqualified himself. I was going to say that though his gimmicks have gotten old, they still seem to work for him.
Hitting a banana is a fun will never get old. And if you think so, you're just in denial.
Detective Grail, even working from what some would consider a significant disadvantage, you still managed to solve your mystery quite easily. You also get along with everyone in the contest.
When you focus too much on the visual world,
You often overlook the other 4 worlds around you. Don't pretend I'm at a disadvantage. Good luck to everyone else in the contest. Detective Esther, not really sure if what you do requires skill.
read my book and find out.
But your ability to deduct things from unconscious images in your dreams is certainly unique and impressive. Detective Slakes didn't make it to a room in time, but he managed to weasel his way in to be included anyway. Yeah, well, that certainly required a lot of skill.
Yeah, I'll pat myself on the back for that one. Good job, me.
And neither did Red July. Thanks to the historic last-minute sacrifice by 795. She was able to solve the mystery at her usual breakneck speed.
You can count on me to solve the mystery that lies ahead.
Now, all that being said, there can only be one winner. We did our best to mull it over. By the process of elimination, we decided that Detective Salette, Norman, and Mackle were simply too antagonistic to the contest. We need detectives to play along with the rules, not those bucking the system.
Well, joke's on you, I'll sell these dummies for a fortune.
Cowards.
Whatever. I don't care.
Detective N's led an effort to cheat in the third stage but failed and proved her willingness to play ball, so she was still in the running. But we were worried about her method, since it only tells her information about the method of death that does not suggest a greater flexibility when it comes to puzzles with more at play. We had seen during the course of the contest that she struggled with mysteries while the method of death was supposed to be obvious from the start.
That's fair.
Detective Rodriguez's method seems too flaky to trust in the sixth stage. The sixth stage needs a detective who is upfront about who they are.
I guess I understand.
The same goes for Detective Esther. It's hard to know how much of her method is real.
It's all real.
Yes, that is what we would expect you to say. It's a cool method, but not always reliable, as we saw throughout the contest.
Yeah, sometimes I have completely useless dreams. Then I get a bit stuck.
We're looking for a reliable method. Esther's method is a lot like Regilai's in some ways. Regilai, the contest for Roundrunner, it seemed nothing could bring her down. Her work is quick and accurate, and she's clearly the best at solving mysteries. Her clout in the outside world has a way of giving her an edge. And Slakes is a detective who ranked consistently second. Both of those detectives have tremendous skill. Even when Detective Slakes was forced to solve a mystery without using his method. He did pretty well. But can his alter ego really be trusted? He spent a lot of time on the criminal side. Those are his friends. Would he really have the heart to go after one of them?
I ask him the same thing. It's true. Sakals can't really be trusted.
Regilai is therefore the top contender. She is the most skilled detective in the contest by far. Therefore, the winner at the fifth stage should be her, but the truth is we weren't just looking at skill. The sixth stage is different than every other stage in the contest. The challenges of the sixth stage require not only a very skilled detective, but a detective who can connect to other people. A detective who doesn't dominate the room with their energy, but instead is able to listen to others. Now, we aren't saying that Regilai is unable to interview suspects, but in this contest, when looking at her career, that work has been handled by an associate. And she sequestered herself away from the other detectives at every opportunity. There was no attempts on her part to familiarize herself with the fellow contestants. The best opportunity to do so would have been the third stage, where we deliberately held off on eliminations so that detectives could show us how they relate to others. But she didn't. Therefore, although she is the best detective in the contest, she is the worst detective in the sixth stage. We have concluded that the detective most suited for the sixth stage is Detective Raoul.
Hi, Young. No, I can't help with math. I'm shit at math. I'm good at detective stuff. I'm shit at math. I'm real shit at math. I barely passed my maths exams at school. I am gonna have a drink though, because doing so many voices is bad for my throat. Luckily. Yeah, exactly, Mort. I said Regilai is an asshole. Her arrogance and the fact that she thinks she's better than everyone fucked her over, because that's not what they want. They want someone who can work as part of a team with the other detectives. I'm kind of glad it's Raoul, because Raoul's been consistently nice to everyone. I wouldn't have thought it would be Raoul, but she was in my top 5. I honestly thought maybe they were going to make it be Clown Boy until just like a couple minutes ago. That's who my top 5 would have been Clown Boy as number 1, Sakals. Before she was eliminated, I liked what was her name? The chances of the one that was originally paired with the Clown Boy. I liked her chances because she was new, and I thought that would, and she was also nice to most people. Yeah. Sakals is also up there, and Sakal/Slakes is also up there. I thought that he had a good chance of winning, but Raoul makes sense. Me?
What? Detective Rule is the best detective at the 6th stage. She was also in the top ranks consistently and proved her dedication to the contest numerous times. And of course, she is extremely skilled. She meets all our criteria. She is the winner of Stage 5. Everyone can go home now. Detective Rule, please wait for further instructions in about 1 week. As for the rest of you, thank you for your participation in the Mysterious Detective Contest. You will still have an opportunity to work with us in the future. Goodbye.
What just happened? Nice. Congratulations. I have a mystery to get back to. So long. This is great, Rael. I'll send you a free copy of my book. Bye. I've spent a lot of time in this contest. It appears that my time was wasted. I won't waste another second here. There's a guy in my head. He's controlling all our thoughts. Well, that's fine, I guess. Good luck, sister. Thanks, bro. I just like that guy. You should get a different walking stick. That one will break soon. It's made of cheap wood. Can't afford a new one. Well, judging by your skill, you're gonna come into a lot more cash soon. Thanks, I think. I guess my big moment was for nothing. In fact, it was a lot like an Oreo. When you dunk it in milk, but hold it in there too long, and then it turns from mush and falls in the milk. And then you got Oreo milk. And what is the point of Oreo milk? Guess I'm off to find out. Okay. Remember, lots of fun, Rule. And always stand on your head at a crime scene. Every time.
Seems to work out for you.
And here's my lunch. Bye.
A mayo sandwich?
You deserve it, Raoul. Maybe she's gonna send her, like, a braille version of her book. That would be cool. I think if I was blind and someone sent me a braille version of their book, I would be, like, happy. I think I'd be happy with that. With someone sending... Because, like, you wouldn't know this because this is very niche knowledge, but getting a braille version of a book made is, like, really expensive. Like, getting a braille version of a book, because they have to be custom made. You have to have a custom machine to do it, and not a lot of publishing houses have them. I can think there's maybe, like, one in the entirety of England that has one of these braille book machines. I know this because I went to university in a town that has a blind college. And so I was around a lot of blind people, because they were, like, next door to my university. The blind college was. And so we did, like, a lot of projects, like, for art projects that were, like, about stuff like making art accessible to, like, the visually impaired or people with disabilities. Accessible art was, like, a whole thing I learned. Yeah, it takes a while because you have to have an expert in Braille who is obviously sighted so that they can read the book and translate it. Because there's, like, a special typewriters as well that can do Braille. And those are very expensive, the special typewriters, to do Braille. It's really interesting, actually. If you ever want, like, a rabbit hole to go down, the way that they make blind people books is, like, a very interesting rabbit hole to go down. There's, like, a lot of information out there. And... like, personally, I think that there should be more books, like, an easier ways to get hold of books for blind people. Because it's not just for blind people. Braille can also be for, like, anyone with any sort of visual impairment. And there's different kinds of Braille as well, because American Braille is different to Braille in the UK. Same with sign language. You have BSL and ASL. And I know a little bit of BSL, but I don't know any, or very, very little ASL. It's just cool. I think it's a very interesting topic. When I learnt about it at university, it was like a very interesting, like, subsection of our course. I will be rooting for you. Thanks, Signs. I would read your palm, but you're wearing gloves. Something tells me you'll do well. I mean, the spirits tell me you'll do well.
Thank you. I can't believe it.
This is true. Blind football is actually really interesting. Blind football is very interesting because they kind of play it on their knees with their hands. That's one version that I've seen, is where the ball has a bell, so they have to listen for if the ball comes to them. Watching blind football is actually really interesting. It's quite intense because there's like long periods of like just watching and waiting to see what they're gonna do, and there's like a lot of drama to it as well. Wheelchair basketball as well, that one is interesting. Wheelchair basketball is like fucking crazy. The shit that they're capable of doing nowadays to like make sports accessible for people with disabilities is fucking insane. Because they're basically like entirely different sports played with entirely different rules. It's fucking insane. I find it so interesting.
I really can't. Will I finally pay it all off?
Oh, is she in the contest because of a debt? Okay. Rael's in the contest because she's in debt. Probably something to do with her being blind. Chapter 85. The Watching Room. Part 17. Detective Rael won the 5th stage. The Game Masters begin preparations for the 6th and final stage in the contest. Well, that was intense. Not as intense as my sister's wedding. 2 words. Cake flows pound. I thought Salette was gonna kill us. I'm a bit disappointed. It's all behind us now. We've got to focus on getting out of here and setting up at the soundstage. We've only got a week to prepare for this. I have a feeling since nothing's gone as planned so far, we'll be something special in this 6th stage. It's always special. I know I delivered a special bidding to that criminal scum Indigo. Stupid wallpaper girl. Pain. It was pain. Funny seeing you here. No, it's not that funny. You talked to Catspatcher yet? Yeah, he knows he won. No, his week of hell begins. Rolling out a huge mystery like the 6th stage is no easy task. And sometimes your hard work is mocked and destroyed. There was no rule I couldn't punch through the... No, forget it. That was the past, and I won anyway. All winners here. In a sense. We get to run this nice contest. Have a nice discussion when we're not running around. I like these chats of ours. Yeah. That's right, detectives love to sit around and talk about stuff. Meanwhile, us murderers are out getting important stuff done. We're proactive, you're reactive. You done yet, murderer? You are not proactive, you are amateur active. I hate you. Oh, what fun we have. Is that what that was? Did Rael happy? She looked like she was crying. It was tears of joy. She was a bunch of medical debt or something. What a mood killer. We're here to have fun, Clark. Oh, she wins. Yeah, she's nice. I talked to her a bit back when I was spying on everyone. How late is it? Not that late at all. Guys, what if we made a big mistake? Or rather, I did. I know, 795 technically gave the right answer. Maybe he shouldn't have been disqualified. We sacrificed him to get Red July back in play, but Red July didn't hold up once we gave it a few more seconds of thought. No point in dwelling on it. We'll see how it all works out. On the bright side, a detective losing the contest is useful information too. Like you did, Melly. Yeah, I learned to be more cynical. This is it, team. Let's stop dawdling and get on with the 6th stage. Shotgun. Damn it, Greg. Who knew what lay ahead? Maybe Conver. He'd been changing the rules a lot recently. If worse came to worse, maybe he'd step in to help Rael. But it was a faint hope. Conver wasn't really on board with our decision. His favourite to win had been Detective Slakes, and I knew from experience, going against the will of the original Game Master never worked out in the end. Chapter 86. Mysteryville. It's time for the 6th stage to begin. The Game Masters took a risk on Detective Raoul. Will she have what it takes to face the mastermind? Are they gonna drop her into the fucking middle of a town with no way to figure out where she is? That's unfair. She's like fucking blind. They're not... She said this whole time that the competition was not been made for blind people, other than the fact that the letters on the dummies have been raised. 1 week later. This was it. I'd done all I could. I prepared my crime meticulously for her. Detective Raoul. A detective with a convenient weakness for me. Were they trying to hand this contest to me on a silver platter? But I couldn't underestimate her. Always overestimate your enemy. Beat them twice over. She had to be smart to have won all 5 stages. Oop, thank you for the pats. I was curious to see what could happen. Oh yeah, she's a cat scratcher. Who's like a proper weirdo. I don't quite know what's up with Cat Scratcher, but he's got something planned. They set up an entire fucking military bunker for this shit? I'm not... Why am I surprised? I didn't get any sleep last night. Yeah, mostly your fault. Well, there's no use prolonging this. Let's wipe out all our medical debt together, shall we? Game Master had kindly let me bring my guide dog, Wished, along for the ride. Since she technically was not a detective, it was allowed. My senses are almost as sharp as Wished. She can mostly be helping me move around the crime scene. She gets a dog! Let's fucking go! Let's fucking go! She gets to bring a dog? Best detective. They're actually letting her have a fucking guide dog now. Let's fucking go.
Detective Raoul.
Sorry, I had a message. I had to check. Everything's good.
Welcome, welcome. This is the final stage of the detective competition. Stage 6. This stage is drastically different than the others. You will be competing against a criminal, the mastermind, instead of your fellow detectives. Your goal is to solve this mystery within 12 hours. Sounds easy. Don't be so sure. Unlike previous mysteries, this mystery will have actors portraying the people of interest. Like in real life, you'll have to question suspects in order to piece together what happened. The mastermind has control over the mystery and the suspects' backstories and motives, but he cannot directly ask them to tell specific things. He'll be working off their backstories in order to determine what to tell you. When you come across a suspect, add them to the New Suspects tab in your case file. And be sure to write down the statements they make. Understood. Once you discover the crime scene, you'll find the case file nearby. And speaking of, there's been a death in Mysteryville. It seems something happened to Mrs. Rack. A very mysterious something. You'd better go and solve it. Good luck.
The Game Master was right. It was very different from the other stages. It felt lonelier. Good thing I had Wished with me. I don't know if I'm saying that dog's name correct. I've never seen that word before, but it looks vaguely German, so I'm going German. Wischt.
Judging by the echo in here, it's a pretty big space. Wischt, explore.
Wisht bounded off, excited to maim whoever she came across. Maybe the stage would be over if she bit the mastermind. Or maybe I'd get sued by a mega billionaire running the contest. Oh well. I had to start thinking of strategies. The mastermind was prepared for me. He knew my weaknesses. He knew my name. All I had was the short file labelled Cat Scratcher. He said his modus was scratching his victims, that he was good at blending in, and that was about it. There was no way he'd won 5 stages with just that modus alone. I couldn't underestimate him. Always overestimate your opponent, as they say. They're both thinking the same thing. Her and Cat Scratch were thinking the same thing. They're both overestimating each other because, okay, this is a good pair up actually. And because she's got a dog, if Cat Scratch is planning on killing her or something, which I think he might be hiding in this building, planning to kill her. I think the dog's going to play an important part here.
Okay, girl. That's right, I found something back. And it sounded like you came from about 200 feet away.
Not that to do with follow her lead. Royal was using her dog to find her way around the crime scene, speeding up her time considerably. How was that allowed? No matter. In fact, her dog could be the key to tripping her up. Inside the soundstage. It was my world. She had no idea what was coming.
Thanks, girl. This must be the case file.
Stage 6, wrecked. Case summary not yet available. Suspects not yet available. The Game Master Braille translator wasn't too good, but I appreciated the effort.
No time to waste. Let's begin.
Time to feel my way around the crime scene. It smelled like metal and blood and oil. What sort of sound would it make? Not too surprising. I felt the object. It was obviously a car. Headlights, windshield, but the front of the car was smashed. There was something wet and sticky all over the front. I had a good sense what this was. It smelled like fabric and paint. What sort of sound would it make? It's the dummy, obviously. Yeah, it was made of burlap. I felt around. There were raised letters, victim. I felt round for the tag I knew would be on the neck. I had the word embossed blue. Interesting. Well, I had a good sense what this was. Now I had what I needed to find the real solution to this mystery. Using what I had gathered around the crime scene, I was able to form a detailed mental image.
Not much evidence here. There's a car and a victim, Mrs. Wreck. But there's something strange here. Something very strange indeed. Once again, the blue colour was an important clue. Meant that Miss Wreck had been poisoned. But isn't that strange?
The Naked Gun movies are pretty funny. I'll give you that joke. That I like a blind man at an orgy. I'm just going to have to feel my way around. That one's pretty good. That one's apt. I'll give you that one, Mort. She was clearly been hit by a car in this scenario, right?
I wonder if this means Miss Wreck wasn't hit by the car, which means this was no accident. But what about the dents in the front of the car?
Definitely felt the front of the car was bashed in. How did that happen? What if the car had hit someone else? Was there another body? Why was Miss Wreck in front of the car? That couldn't be it. It's pretty simple. The murderer could have just whacked the car with a mat or hammer. That would have made it look like it was a wreck. What was weird about this was that the only reason I knew that this wasn't an accident was the fact the dummy was blue. If this mystery took place in the real world without a clue, then how would I have ever known that in this case? Kind of felt like cheating.
Wait, there's something else that's suspicious as well. Another reason to suspect this accident is completely staged.
When I felt around the victim, I hadn't felt any blood around her. If she was hit by the car, her blood splattered all over it. Wouldn't it be on the road as well?
Interesting. There's something else that feels weird about this. However, supposedly ran into her, just left her car, their car there. No, that wouldn't be a ton of evidence pointing to them. Then in case of evidence, the car is being framed. The real killer set this up that seemed to make them a scapegoat. Kind of a simple mystery premise in the end. But why do I get the feeling there's much more to this that I'm not getting? And where are all the suspects? Sounds like you have some idea. Show me, girl.
That dog sure was useful. But only in some ways. This was still my playground. The mouse had smelled the cheese, but the trap hadn't sprung just yet. Patience. Patience. I'm, like, super invested in this, actually. I'm, like... Now that it's just Raoul, and we know what Raoul's personality and everything, this is a good way to do this final case, just have it be Raoul trying against Cat Scratcher. And the fact that they showed us what Cat Scratcher is like in the previous, like, chapter, in one of the previous chapters, because we were hanging around with him. We know what both of these people are like, personality-wise. It could go to either of them. Chapter 87. Half Houses. The sixth stage has officially begun. After a brief investigation, Raoul is eager to meet the suspects and learn more about the mystery Cat Scratcher has concocted. I'm like super invested in this already. Okay, this is a good mystery.
This is supposed to be a suburb. Many of the houses are just flat cutouts with no interiors. Like a cheap set. You'd think a billionaire would be able to afford to construct interiors and exteriors for every house, but I'm not complaining. Sure sounds like you're complaining. Yes, I am. Well, there's nothing complaining about, lady. It's a really nice day. Not so nice for Mrs. Wreck. Do you happen to know her? What? What's wrong with Mrs. Wreck? She's sick or something? No, there's been an accident. I'm afraid she's dead. So she gave up, did she? No, I suspect someone killed her. Killed her? Why would someone care enough to do that? How do you know her? She was my neighbor. Do we get along? Not really. But did I murder her? No. Does that answer all the questions you had, lady? No. I'm gonna need to bring you in for further questioning. You want answers? Mr. Rex will give you the answers. He's a very suspicious man. Mr. Rex was his wife.
Someone say my name. Don't smoke around me, please.
Then I'm leaving. How lovely. All my suspects are showing up out of nowhere.
Suspects?
Suspects, yes. Sorry to tell you your wife has died.
Gottina?
What? There's her name. Gottina Wreck. I'm so sorry.
What a terrible name.
But don't worry. I'm on the case.
You don't look like a detective.
I didn't realize there was a special detective look. I'm more of a detective can't look. Blind jokes. Only I can make them, by the way, so don't even think about it, buddy. Anyway, I'll need to bring you in for further questioning.
Make it quick. You don't have a lot of time to talk to people pretending to be detectives or whatever you're doing.
Hey, you're right, I'm kind of an amateur, but hey, I'm putting myself out there. Getting experience, getting better by the day. Practice, practice, practice. Would you happen to know anyone who would have a motive to, you know?
No. Mysteryville is a place where everyone knows each other. We all get along perfectly well.
Sounds like a truthful thing to say.
Well, if you're looking for suspects, I'd recommend talking to Mr. and Miss Taffy. They live nearby. Maybe they heard something?
Thanks for the tip. Where'd Miss Haddock go?
Wished I'd had it. Wished had no idea what I was talking about. I wandered a little further. The place was so quiet. Even with my heightened sense of hearing, I could just barely tell where the other people were around me. And one of them was around the corner.
Is someone there?
Yeah.
Miss Taffy.
You got it. What do you want? I don't recognize you.
I'm Detective Raoul. A murder has occurred. Do you happen to know Miss Wreck?
Yeah, everyone knows everyone in Mysteryville.
Apparently. Miss Wreck has been killed.
Killed? Get out of here, dear.
Would you mind if I had brought you in for questioning?
Brought me where?
I don't know yet. I'm just saying it because it's what detectives usually say. I'm kind of new at the whole interviewing people part.
I'm sorry, what's going on here?
That present.
Instantly I knew. There's something weird about it.
Mr. Taffy?
Is something wrong? Who are you? He knew who I was.
There's been a murder.
Oh dear. He wasn't concerned.
Would you mind if I questioned the two of you?
About the murder? We aren't suspects, are we?
I'm afraid that when it comes to murder, everyone's a suspect.
Just like the detective in those novels always say.
Doesn't make it...
What the fuck happened to my voice then? I started talking like fucking Stitch.
Doesn't make it untrue.
So where would you like to interview us?
I hadn't considered it. Would you mind inviting me to your house? I want to be sure you're comfortable.
Of course I wouldn't mind. I have nothing to hide. Come on in. Oh, can the dog wait outside, please? I don't want my floor to get scratched.
Shy, wherever you wished. I'll see you soon.
I couldn't show any hesitation, any weakness. I followed him inside. So, for those who don't remember, Mr. Taffy here is Cat Scratch. Yeah, I don't know what happened to fucking Raoul's voice, but for a second there she fucking turned into Stitch. You can't do that, Raoul! I'll get sued by Disney. They'll come for me. I can hear the sirens. They're like 5 seconds away. Chat, we've got 5 seconds to finish this game before Disney comes and gets my ass. Welcome to our home. Watch your step. The living room's slightly lower than the foyer.
Thanks for the warning.
Now then, was your plan to question both of us at once?
Good point. There's usually one at a time, isn't it? Then again, it might be good to see how you react to others' remarks. You know what? I have some time. I'll interview one at a time, then together.
Very well. Who will you question first? He wasn't very good at hiding who he was.
You. Mr. Taffy. You're first.
This wasn't just some actor playing a role. I had no doubt that Mr. Taffy was none other than the mastermind. If I could trip him up during my interrogation, I could end this whole thing within the hour. Chapter 88. Armchair Shuffle. Raoul has met all the suspects, and the mastermind, Cat Scratcher, is one of them. Will he be able to outmaneuver her during the interrogation?
So, Mr. Taffy, tell me about yourself. What do you do?
I'm the co-owner of a candy company, Taffy's Taffies. I'm a food scientist who's perfected the art of confectionery.
You sell all kinds of candy or just taffy?
All of our candy is taffy-esque, but not all of it is strictly in the category. For example, we sell taffy brittle flavoured like taffy. If you don't like the taste of taffy, you won't like any of our products.
Yeah, I probably wouldn't. What does your wife do? Does she cook taffy too?
No, she runs the business side of things.
Hey, you know Miss Rick?
Miss Rick is just a neighbour of ours. We don't know much about her.
Did you see the crime scene?
No.
Sounds like you did.
I saw it, but I didn't examine it.
Clearly you seem surprised there was a murder.
I didn't see a body, but I heard something. The sound of a car crashing.
When did you hear that?
I don't know, early morning, 5 or 6.
And you didn't go out and see what was happening?
I was busy in the kitchen, and those things usually sort themselves out, don't they? Who am I to gawk at someone else's misfortune?
Reasonable enough. How do you know Miss Habit?
I don't. I wouldn't even be able to know which one is her house. My wife does, though.
Seems like she knows a lot more than you do. Send her in.
Very well. This was it. Brill wasn't doing a terrible job, but she was clearly inexperienced with interrogations. That was a weakness that could be exploited.
Alright. Miss Taffy, you are the counter of Taffy's Taffies and you handle the business end of things, is that correct?
Yes, that is correct. I'm in charge of meeting and management.
Mr. Taffy claims he heard a car crash around 5 or 6 in the morning.
They didn't switch the models. Oh no. Oh no. They forgot to switch the character models. So we're just going to have to pretend that it's the beautiful black lady and not Cat Scratch talking to us right now. Or we could pretend this is intentional and that he suddenly got the voice of a beautiful black woman.
Did he mention this to you?
Yes. We both heard it. He said it would be better to stay inside and wait for the police to take care of it.
Interesting. Your business is doing well.
Well, actually, no. That's what my husband was working on. A new recipe that wouldn't taste like taffy. Turns out giving candy business where everything tastes the same gets boring for customers after a while.
What was the recipe for?
Fudge.
Correct. I can smell it. Just teasing you. You knew Mrs. Wreck?
We would have tea and eat taffy together.
When's the last time you did that?
Yesterday afternoon. It didn't go well.
What happened?
She went to the bathroom and didn't return. I found out she left without saying goodbye.
Did you hear a phone ring, or did she talk to anyone else?
I don't remember, but Miss Habit was with us.
Thank you for your time, Miss Taffy. Seems like I have to go find Miss Habit.
Be careful, Rail.
What?
Just a friendly warning.
Thanks. Glad to be out of there. What an awful smell.
Question mark? Question mark? No, because if it's... Can he mimic people's voices? Is this what the game is trying to show us? Is this not a glitch? Is this that Cat Scratch can mimic people's voices? Which would be the perfect way to fuck with a blind person. Right, chat? Because this can't be unintentional now. This has to be intentional. Because before, I could excuse it because it was in the same place. Is this that he can mimic people's voices? Oh, you sneaky bitch. That's the only way I could think of you could fuck with Raoul. But I don't think it's working. Because what I know about Raoul, I think that's the reason she's not actually asking anything important. Because she knows that he's doing this, so it's a double bluff. She knows that he's mimicking other people's voices because she could tell who he was based on his vibe, not based on his voice. Okay. Interesting. Okay. Okay, game. Okay, game. Okay. I like where this is going. Oh, it's you again.
Mr. Wreck.
Planning on interrogating me anytime soon?
I thought I'd talk to Mrs. Habit first. But since you're just around, I guess you're up first.
Excellent. I'm eager to get to the bottom of this tragedy. And find out who killed my wife.
So you agree it looks like a homicide?
Indeed. My house is right over there. Step right this way. Well, we hadn't seen any Cat Scratch's crimes in the early contest. He didn't win any of the competitions to have the detective solve his crime until later on. and we didn't see the detective solve it. But he is the one who hid a person inside of a mannequin to get them murdered.
Your door was unlocked.
I always leave it unlocked. It's a very safe place to live. Well, it used to be. I will lock it next time.
Mr. Rick, what do you do?
I'm the CEO of a pharmaceutical company, Skullduggery.
So you sell pills for headaches and things?
Yes, but I have greater ambitions. It's my hope to cure the horrible diseases plaguing the world.
Interesting. Is that personal for you? Do you have friends or family with the disease?
No, it's purely philanthropic pursuit.
And Gatina was involved in the company?
No. She was a sports reporter for speed racing competitions. She loved cars. Too much. Would not stop talking about them.
You knew Mr. Staffy and Mrs. Habit.
Of course, it's a small neighbourhood. Oh, it is! Yes! Oh, fucking hell, I completely forgot. He has the... Oh my god, how did I forget that? That was a fucking plot twist earlier in the thing. He got Haney kicked out of being one of the helpers by faking her voice on tape to make them think that she did the murder. Ah, yes, you're right. I completely fucking forgot that he did that. So he can copy voices. That is something he's capable of. We know he can do. It was set up earlier. She had tea with them often. She didn't care much about what they did with her spare time. We'd greet each other. I didn't know them well myself.
Well, it's been somewhat helpful. I hope you don't mind me saying this prematurely, but I got closer to the truth. Thank you for your time.
Good luck, Raoul. In fact, better than good. Great luck is what you need. Why stop at great? Wonderful luck.
Don't need luck to solve crimes. That'd be more like Detective Asper.
Who's that?
Never mind. Sorry, gal. You're not allowed to help me with that. But don't worry. I've got this. Yeah, I know, I smell terrible. Don't know what cleaning product Mr. Rick uses, but it's completely overwhelming. Heard you were asking for me. I'm good, I didn't have to wander around trying to find you. I always pop up when you least expect me, dear. And sometimes when you least expect me is when you most expect me, get me? Here. My house is right over here. Ask anything you want within the next 10 minutes. Any longer, and I will get impatient. Very well.
What's that? Oh, you don't like the pungent smell of cigarettes.
I have an ever-sensitive nose.
So sorry about that. It's my individual right to hack and cough.
Yeah. Just show me where to sit. What do you do, Mrs. Habit?
I live my best life.
Okay.
I live life to the fullest. Do whatever I want. I'm retired.
What did you used to do?
I was in sales. I sold all kinds of knickknacks.
Good, finally an answer. Yesterday you had to Miss Taffy and Miss Rick.
And ate those disgusting taffies? No, I did not. Only tea for me.
Yes, but were you there when Mrs. Rick left?
No, I left first.
You left Miss Taffy alone with Miss Rick?
Yes, goodbye and left.
Why did you leave?
Miss Taffy suggested I was get going because it was late and she was right. I need my rest.
And the next morning, did you hear anything?
I heard the sound of a car crashing.
When?
Exactly 5:30 a.m. I know because it woke me up. I would have gone out there and given the scoundrel a piece of my mind, but I've given out too many pieces of my mind recently. Barely have any left. Now I'm giving them all to you.
I only have one more question. What kind of taffy was at the tea party?
Why do you care? I think it was their usual fudge taffy. Fudge that tastes like taffy. Yuck.
Yeah, gross. Well, I'll be on my way now. Meet me in the center of town in half an hour. I have some thinking to do.
Maybe I will, maybe I won't.
You will. You want to miss the solution to the murder, would you?
Chapter 89. Truth Untangled. Roel has interviewed all of the suspects. Or has she? With Mastermind Cat Scratcher pretending to be every suspect, has she really learned the truth of the mystery at all?
Based on the available evidence and all the suspects' testimony, this is a conclusion I've reached.
Excellent. I finally found out what happened to Gotina.
By investigating the crime scene, I quickly determined that it was not, in fact, a simple car accident. The car was hit with a mallet or hammer to make it look damaged, and the victim died not from a collision but from poison of some kind. So naturally, I was looking for a clue about how the victim could have been poisoned. And that was obviously the tea party. Miss Reck left the tea party early, but Miss Habit left first. Therefore, Mr. Taffy had some time alone with Miss Reck. Mrs. Habit would never have eaten the fudge. That is, I think, a clue about what that was used to poison Miss Reck. In conclusion, Miss Taffy's experiments with fudge turned out to be one of the poisonous variety. When Miss Reck started having problems, Mrs. Taffy sent her on her way. Soon after, Mrs. Reck died. But if people knew she'd eaten poisoned fudge, Taffy Taffy's would have been out of business. So it was staged as a car accident. The true culprits are the Taffys.
Well done. This is the correct solution to the mystery. And you know I'm telling the truth because the mastermind cannot tell me what to say. So go ahead and submit your deduction.
Ah, right. Of course. I'll be able to submit my deduction.
Once I've discovered the solution to the mystery. What are you talking about?
Mrs. Reck and Mrs. Taffy and Mrs. Habit, were you questioned by me?
No, I barely talked to you, lady. I was never questioned. I believe you only questioned my husband, Mr. Taffy.
Exactly. Nice try, Mr. Taffy. It was a good idea to have the different reasons for each house to have an overwhelming smell. As I could tell people apart by how they smell, but for some reason you didn't think about how each suspect sounded.
Nonsense. My impressions were perfect. I spent most of the week practicing them. Well, maybe not most of the week.
I mean your voice, which was, yes, perfect. But almost right away I knew I wasn't talking to Mrs. Taffy, because even though you were wearing her shoes, you're shorter than her. The length of the time between the footsteps was longer. Let me guess, each of them were told to wait to speak to me, while you pretended to be them or something.
That's right, Mr. Taffy told me to take a lovely walk. Does this mean Mr. Taffy is the true culprit? The murderer who killed Gotina?
I wish it were that simple, but all it actually means, it's that Mr. Taffy is in truth the mastermind. The person who constructed this mystery scenario, but not necessarily the murderer. It seems I'm going to have to approach this mystery on 2 levels. The fictional level and the meta level.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Yes, of course you don't. To you, Cat Scratcher is just Mr. Taffy. I look forward to playing the rest of this game with you, Cat Scratcher. But don't think you could get me that easily. All you've done is reveal what you're willing to cheat.
It's not cheating. It's being creative within the limitation the rules given to me. You know what? I'm excited you weren't fooled by that. Let's have an exciting game, Roel. This is not over yet. What?
I'm gonna have to completely scrap the statements he gave me. Back to square one. I know unfair. He has to be the mastermind and the suspect at the same time, and manipulate everything. Oh wow, he controls the true culprit.
That's just the way the game's played.
But I feel your pain, Roel. I really do. Cat Scratcher is bending the rules so much in his own favour that you deserve having them bent a little for you. You missed something at the crime scene. A clue that Cat Scratcher deliberately made visual. In the interest of fairness, we're going to send in a sighted partner. He will help you investigate, but not interrogate. This way, it won't be a complete wash. Do you agree to this adjustment? Really? That's real despicable of him. Yes, I'll take whatever I can get. He very nearly got me with his tricks. Never play a rigged game on even footing. Very wise. Let me introduce you to your new partner.
Who are they going to pair her up with, then? Do you reckon it's going to be Sakals or the clown? Who do we think? Chapter 90, The Watching Room. Part 13. The sixth stage has begun. In a small room near the top of the dome, the game masters watch over the proceedings. Yes, yes, dance, puppets, dance. It was my favourite thing to say. Greg, I haven't noticed you've been neglecting your team duties recently. I meant to discuss with you privately, but your repeated cries of dance, puppets, dance have aggravated me enough to embarrass you publicly. Very justified, Clark. Can't believe Rayo fell through that trick. Guess we shouldn't have underestimated her so much. I mean, she did win the 5th stage. Barely. And Converse said she was a high-risk candidate. We did not underestimate her. It's just that she exceeded our expectations. That's the same thing. I'd give it a rest, chums. Maybe Convo will be won over seeing her performance. It's best she's yet to come. I have to say, this old cheating thing really is not saying well with me. It's one thing to pretend that to be other suspects, but he's really stretching the rules here. Don't like it. It's what you would expect from a lowly criminal to do. Personally, I like it very much, because if you win despite your opponent cheating, it's like you have won twice. Good point. Irel seems steady on her feet. I'm confident she's gonna win the contest. We were currently betting on the final winner. Our group was neatly split down the middle. Nah, she's bad at questioning the suspects. If she was better, she would have tripped Cat Scratcher into revealing himself early. Maybe that wasn't her goal. Maybe she was using the opportunity to collect data about his secret ability to mimic voices. How is that okay? We just let him lie on his bio? You can have more than one ability, and that's why you think he's the one who win. He can imitate any voice perfectly. I'd kill to her be able to do that. Wish you could do that too. You're getting tired of your bad cartoon impressions. Gotta catch 'em all. What was that? Horrible. You failed to capitalize on my feelings of nostalgia. Cool Whip. That's still funny. No, that was never funny. You should feel bad, Greg. You should feel really, really bad. Not just for that horrible impression, but for possessing the mind that would think that doing that impression was a good idea. You're never going to keep me down. Never. We'll see you after you use your big time. Raoul will clearly emerge the victor. She already got through one of his tricks. I think I can trust her to outthink him. He's pretty smart, but she's smarter. I hope you're right. You're not, but keep on living in the world of pure imagination. Didn't sound anything like him. You're also bad at singing. Fine. I'll get Cat Scratcher to do it once he wins the contest. You won't have a choice. He'll be forced to be a big compilation video of all my favourite celebrity and cartoon impressions. Good luck with that. They're basically going to turn him into Marshall. They're basically going to turn him into Marshall, where we point at him and say, do an impression for me, Skeleton Man. Skeleton Man, do me an impression. Do me an impression, Skeleton Man. Skeleton Man, do an impression of the Reddit moderator, Skeleton Man. Do it. Do the funnies. Do an impression of the Reddit moderator for me, Skeleton Man. Do a 50-minute impression of the Reddit moderator. Yes, very entertaining. Thanks. Well, guess I'll finally type up my notes from the last meeting with Conver. You do that, Greg. You do that. Was Cat Scratcher taking advantage of Raoul's disability a little slimy? Yes. Did it make me more likely to win the big bet? Yes. What a moral quandary. Good thing it was just a contest, because in the real world I've been having a serious ethical dilemma, and nobody likes those. They're super boring. Chapter 91. Juxtaposed murders in a deliberate sequence. The Game Master has revealed that still more trickery at play, as Cat Scratcher's mystery is impossible to solve without being able to see, and is sending in someone to act as Raoul's eyes in the interest of fairness. How long do I have to wait? 1 second, we're working on it. Well, you're new. Okay.
Someone there?
This is Detective Porrelby. He was interviewed but not selected for the competition. He is allowed to accompany you and point out things you can't see. However, he is not allowed to make deductions of his own, or speculate on possible solutions, or give you hints. I don't really know what's going on here, but if there's a crime to be solved, I'll solve it. No, you won't. That's Detective Raoul's job. You will only act as her eyes and tell her what you see. Got it? Oh, okay. Well, if you say so, mysterious voice.
Let's head to the crime scene right away.
I'm going to give him the little orphan Victorian child voice, I've decided. He's got a sad aura about him. If I can help out, then I'll help out.
If I can help out, then...
No. Where is it? Where is the little Victorian child voice? In my body. Where does it reside?
If I can help out, then I'll help out. Wait. So, see anything? Well, a car. The car smashed. There's a blue dummy near the car. What could that mean? I already know about all that. There's something about those trees. The trees? Something spray painted on them. It's a message. Check the houses. Check the houses? Ah, the houses. Even though some of these houses are just front propped up, a lot of them are fully built. It's not just the ones belonging to the suspects. Maybe there's a clue inside? It's worth checking. Is that a hint? No. Passive observation. Okay. We'll start with this block and expand outwards from there. You got it. It seemed more hard to split up since you're not supposed to help me solve it.
I guess.
You guess? You're not sure?
It seems like you know what you're talking about. He was certainly a strange guy.
You said it. Okay, let's go.
As soon as we entered the nearest house, I sensed it. The acoustics were off.
Something's here.
You're right.
It's a dummy on the floor. What does it look like?
It's yellow and has a big smile.
Yellow. If I recall, that means dehydration.
Another victim? So how this was becoming a multiple murder mystery. How long would it take to solve this?
Okay. You see anything else around here?
No. I felt the dummy. There didn't appear to be anything further to investigate about it.
Let's check the other houses. I have a feeling this wasn't the only dummy we'll find.
I was right.
What's this one look like?
White with blood on their chest.
There's no knife nearby?
No knife.
Where is it this time?
In the middle of the floor.
He's blue. Poisoned.
The rest of the house is empty. He's leaning on a wall. Another one with blood on the chest. There's nothing else here.
Crap.
Fortunately, though we scoured the remaining blocks, no more victims were found.
Huh. Throwing dummies near the crime scene. How were they murdered?
Don't ask me.
Sorry, I know.
Dehydration, stabbed, poisoned, and stabbed. And the first victim, Miss Wreck, was poisoned. Who were the other victims? And did they live in the houses they were killed in? Was this a serial killer mystery? Had they all been killed around the same time, or were they just waiting around and Miss Wreck's murder led to their discovery?
This is so confusing. There's hardly any information about these new dummies.
I just know how they died. Huh?
Yeah, the color the dummies indicates how they died. I guess you wouldn't know that since you didn't get in the contest.
Well, I do know about the dummies. Wait, not supposed to give you any hints or anything. How much does Detective Porrelby really know about the mystery? It was really unclear.
I don't get it. The case file has nothing about this. And there weren't any new case files for the dummies, were there?
I didn't see anything. The stage was very different from the others, but something seemed off to me. The case file had always been straightforward before.
I met all the suspects. I wonder if any of them know about the murders.
Speaking of suspects, something had been off with the case file since the beginning. What was it? I pored over the case file I'd been given. It was true, something was missing.
There's usually a portrait of the victim.
Oh, that's unusual. Or is it? I don't know. Wisht certainly thought it was unusual. Good dog. Good dog, Weisht. What was Cat Scratcher's goal? Was it made to make it difficult for me to submit the correct deduction? Not just make my investigation take as long as possible, but to make me submit a wrong solution. If I was right about this, then maybe it wasn't the suspect testimonies that were fake.
Alright, let's go to the crime scene. I think I know exactly why I'm being tricked.
Not a chance. I built up many layers of deception. I'm Raoul had only peeled through one. Good luck, Raoul. Good luck. Chapter 92. True Crime. Many dummies were discovered. What does this mean? Has Raoul figured out the Cat Scratcher's latest trick? She heads back to the crime scene for another investigation. Okay, what should I be looking for, Raoul?
I'm not sure, but it'll be around here somewhere. A real body.
Cat Scratcher thought he was being so clever. I should have realised it sooner. The suspects in the previous stages had been represented by dummies. But in the 6th stage, they were played by actors and had intricate backstories and motives. Therefore, what if the victim was also a real person and not a dummy? In that case, Cat Scratcher replaced a dummy by the car to throw me off. Thought I found the body of Mrs. Wreck, but all I really found was a dummy. He almost got me. But he overplayed his hand, in trying to make it seem like there were multiple murders to investigate. He'd accidentally made me question the case file. Now all I needed to do was find the real Mrs. Wreck.
Okay, we've already searched all the houses. What's left to search?
I don't know.
I think it's probably near the crime scene. I don't know why, though.
Vash had given me an idea.
I wonder if it could be playing by the rules, if it would be playing by the rules or not. Whatever. It's not like Cat Scratcher is playing by the rules. The substance in the car is real blood, not paint. I can smell it. If the blood was part of the fake mystery, wouldn't it just be paint?
That meant the blood was likely on the real body of Mrs. Wreck, which meant there was something that Vash could smell that would lead to her real body.
Smell the blood, Vash. Yes, yes.
This is why I'm a cat person.
Find your girl.
Vash ran off, but not that far.
A manhole cover.
Oh. Was there something down there beneath the street? How far did the set go?
Can you help me with this poor boy?
I think so. We moved the cover.
Okay. I think you can feel the ladder.
You're just jumping right in. Okay. Hey. There's someone down there?
Miss Wreck.
I reached to the bottom of the stairs and could hear breathing nearby. I felt around for the body.
That's some method acting right there.
Careful.
You're alive? Can you still talk?
No, I'm not alive.
I'm very much dead. I don't get this.
It's not that hard. The game master doesn't want you cutting me open. So instead I'm able to tell you everything about how I died, like you would normally be able to discover on the dummies.
Must have been pretty boring waiting around down here for 4 hours.
I can't comment on that. All I can tell you is... there's blood on my chest and my lungs are bashed in. That is all.
If that's all, I don't see the point in making you stand around here anymore.
I have an exit.
See you around.
I didn't know when the cat scratcher expected me to find out about Mrs. Wreck, but now I knew. He'd probably knew I'd knew now. After all, he'd been observing me from afar the whole time. I could feel his eyes on me. There was likely a way for him to monitor how I was progressing through the mystery. Some kind of room to watch me from or something. But that didn't matter. Just another way the deck was stacked against me.
What now, Rove? Good question. Mrs. Wreck's true cause of death seems to have not been poisoning after all. Just as I suspected. Now that I know that, I'm gonna have to be able to interview the subjects for real this time.
Okay. You don't need me for that, I expect.
No. I'll fill their faces this time to be certain it's them.
Okay. See you. What a weird guy. So you're finally talking to me. Some detective you are.
Yes, I am. Same as Habit. How do you know Miss Wreck?
Very well. We had tea yesterday. I had her over for tea almost every week. Miss Habit and Miss Tanfi drank tea every week with Katrina, but I myself am not familiar with them. Feeling disappointed, Raoul. You're likely to feel even more disappointed as the interrogations continue.
That's the answer I was given before.
Oh, am I boring you? Too bad.
Was there any fudge at your tea party with Miss Wreck and Miss Taffy?
Yes, it was good.
Ah, so you did have the fudge.
Yes, that's what I told you. Yes, my husband made fudge. He's beginning good at it. We'll be rolling it out soon.
Did you try some yesterday?
Yes, why wouldn't I? One needs to have a snack with the say. Yes, I made fudge yesterday. And before you ask, it wasn't poisoned. As you figured out, that was a red herring.
So you work at the pharmaceutical company, Mr. Wreck?
That's right. I'm the CEO. I manufacture over-the-counter drugs, but I want to cure deadly diseases.
Does your wife help with the business?
Not directly.
Why is your focus curing deadly diseases?
It's personal to me. Katrina had lung cancer.
Lung cancer, you say? Can't help but notice the smell of cigarettes, Mrs. Habit. That's kind of your entire thing.
Oh, wow, you finally noticed. Some detective you are.
Yes, I suppose so. Did you know that Miss Wreck is trying to cure lung cancer?
Yeah, everyone in Mysteryville knows that. Keeps putting out ads about how he's eventually gonna do it. And he's been doing that for 5 years, so it must be a big marketing scam in my opinion. Nobody thinks Mr. Wreck is gonna cure lung cancer. He just owns a China drug shop. Not sure why he calls it a company. It's a bit sad.
When I felt you, I noticed you're wearing a cast on your arm. Why?
2 days ago, I was cutting a batch of fudge and I wasn't looking. It's nothing.
Can you feel the wound?
I don't want to mess up the bandage and risk infecting it.
You sliced your arm, but you put on a whole bandage.
I really don't want to affect nothing. I work in the food industry. Miss Wreck's a total joke. Nobody takes him seriously. You shouldn't either.
Your wife the other day.
She sliced her arm while cutting some fudge.
Any idea whose car it is that hit Mrs. Wreck?
No idea. I do not recognize it.
Not mine.
I do not.
That's too bad, Mr. Wreck. The answer cinches it. Nobody knows who owns that car. I'm thinking about this mystery, and the suspects, and the motives, and the methods. I've reached an unfortunate conclusion. I may have to give up.
Chapter 93. Neutral Party. Detective Raoul gives up in a 6th stage stacked against her. How can Raoul possibly win the mysterious detective contest? Why would you say that, detective? We have a philosophy at the company. Never give up. Don't give up. Please bring my wife's killer to justice.
It's not that simple, Mr. Wreck. This isn't a normal game of chess. It's at least 4-dimensional, maybe even 5-dimensional. And this round of interviews has revealed the whole next avenue. I believe there is not just a killer to find, but at least one accomplice. And if that is true, then what else would be true about this mystery? I already know there are several fake murders. How do I know if the killer is real? Or if Miss Rex even died from her wound to begin with. The real victim really a victim? Yeah, the suspects really suspects. With every single aspect of the mystery in question, it is impossible to solve. Not because it's necessarily even that complicated, but because it's not grounded in the real world. And so any tools I could use to confirm that the mystery is real have come directly from the Game Master. I don't know how much more help he would be willing to give me.
I do not know what you're talking about here.
Ah, right. Sorry, not the best person to talk to about this.
I'm just an innocent CEO. Don't know anything about solving mysteries, but I hope you continue to work on this case.
I'll do my best, but I'll have to make an appeal to Game Master. Are you there?
Yes, you have 8 hours left.
8 whole hours. I don't see the point in continuing. You've witnessed the cheats that Cat Scratcher is using, right? He pretended to be suspects. He wrote a message that he knew I wouldn't find. He hid the real victim so I wouldn't possibly investigate the crime. And the only reason it worked is because he's depending on assumptions I would make based on previous mysteries. Isn't he breaking the rules? Isn't this disqualifying?
No, not at all. There was no reason you should have assumed that you had finished investigating the crime scene after you found the dummy in the car. There was no reason you couldn't have investigated the sewer. I decided to bring in Poor Boy just in case there was another vision-based clues, but there were not. You have wished. You have Poor Boy. You have everything you need to solve this crime. Do you think the other 6 stages were easy? Do you think the other 6 detectives got half the help? 6th stage detective got half the help you've gotten?
I had wished because I need her to guide me. Is it my fault I lost my sight? As for the Detective Poor Boy, that was your call. I never asked for additional help, but since I got it, I wasn't going to complain. It seems obvious to me that Cat Scratcher isn't paying fair. He didn't have to construct a straightforward mystery, he created a meta-mystery about the contest itself. Do you want the outcome of this to be that the detective couldn't win because the criminal called into question every single mechanism she could have used to solve the mystery?
Blah blah blah. You know what this sounds like. Whining. I get it. You have a disability. That makes certain things harder for you. But last I heard, blindness doesn't turn you into an idiot. I thought you were smart. I thought you were up to the challenge of the 6th stage. Guess I was wrong. You can either submit a wrong deduction now to end this, or you can wait until 8 hours are up. But I'm not going to disqualify Cat Scratcher. Everything that he is doing is well within the rules of the contest. He's just being creative with them.
That's nonsense. What about the victim conveniently only appeared in the case file after I found the real body, so that he could trick me into thinking she was a dummy? That's clearly a violation of how the case file is supposed to work.
More whining. Cool. You've gotten enough help from me. Say goodbye to Wishton, Poor Boy. From now on, you're on your own.
What? What are you talking about? Don't take away Weisht. Weisht? Weisht?
Weisht was drawn to the door with a quick whistle from her handler. She'd been trained to know that the whistle meant fresh meat. I could tell she was saying, I'll be with you again when this is over. For the first time since the contest began, I really wanted it to be over. They're dicks. They're being real dicks to her, because he is basically cheating. They're just letting him get away with it, because he's only very technically cheating. And now they're going to take away her guide dog, and she's fucking blind. These people are assholes. She's been saying the whole contest that nothing has been set up to really work for her, because she's blind. Like, the whole contest has been rigged against her because she's blind. Because there have been clues that she couldn't see. And, like, things that weren't there in a real case. And now they're like, this is that to the extreme. Everything has been deliberately set up to fuck with her because she's blind. This is fucked. This is fucked of them to do. If they didn't, they shouldn't have picked her if they were going to do this. If they were going to do this, they should have done what they wanted to do and picked Sakals and... Well, not Sakals, picked Slakes. Because they said that number 5 wanted Slakes to be the one to do this. And if they were going to be this fucked up to her and mean to her, They should have just got chosen Slakes. Because right now, this is just bullying a blind person. Chapter 94. Defeat. Raoul lost both Vaisht and Detective Poroboy, thanks to her desperate attempt to overcome Scratch's trickery. Without their help, things seemed pretty hopeless. Where had I gone wrong? Maybe it was all the way back in Stage 5, when I decided to trust the Game Master, pretending I was asking for special treatment. Ridiculous. What I was asking for was an even playing field. Sure, I could function without Vaisht to guide me, but without her, without Poroboy, this was hopelessly unfair.
Miss Taffy. She has a severe injury. Almost like she was hit by a car. And yet when I asked about it, she refused to tell me outright. Obviously, if it had been this car when the person driving it may have been involved in Miss Rock's murder, since I don't know if Miss Taffy was driving it or hit by it. I don't know if she was accomplished or if she had an accomplice, since I don't know if she killed Miss Wreck or her accomplice killed Miss Wreck, and what I will never know unless I know who the owner of the car is, and I don't know who the owner of the car is unless the suspects tell me. None of the suspects will tell me. So I'm at a dead end.
Feeling hopeless. It's too bad. When are you going to give up?
Depends. Do you want to start playing fair?
What about using Vaisht to find the body? Was that fair? We both used every tool at our disposal. As the creator of the mystery, I do have an advantage. But I'm also constrained by the rules of the contest. Nothing I'm doing is against the rules.
So you say.
You are not my enemy, Raoul. You are just in the way. My enemy is the Game Master. He is your enemy too. Why are you so eager to participate in this weird contest? Some strange pointless ranking of detective ability. Hooray, you won $1 million, just go on some quiz show.
I have medical debt. Being a detective is what I do best. I thought I stood a fair shot at winning.
There are other ways to pay off debt. But instead you are letting yourself be judged by some billionaire. He doesn't care about you. Meanwhile, if I win, I don't just get $1 million. I get parole. And my record will be wiped clean. I can't get there through any other means. That is the real reason why you're losing, Raoul. You don't have the motivation. I will do whatever it takes to win. The stakes are higher for me. You can lose and be just fine. Sure, it would be nice to pay off your debt right away, and no longer have that burden. We would also continue paying it off in small amounts. Source of stress, but nothing compared to what I'll face if I'll have to go back to prison. Admit it. There is no reason for you to win.
It's true. If I lost, I would be okay. There are many people who are worse off than I am. But that doesn't mean I should wave away the problems in my life because someone else is having worse problems. There's always going to be someone who's worse off than you are. For instance, even though you're going back to prison, a miserable place to be sure, you have meals. Really bad meals, but you aren't starving. You have a shelter, you aren't out in the snow during winter, and being in prison is better than being homeless. Right?
Well, we agree there. But don't you see, if you win, you're implicitly endorsing these contests. Contests where a murderer like me can be set free. If you disagree with that, your best course of action is to fight back against the entire contest. Who cares about making $1 million? If you bring down a billionaire, you could have billions of dollars. You look, you're going to lose. If you submit the deduction now, no matter what it is, you'll be wrong. So you can either keep going and possibly prevent me from winning the contest, or we can team up, end these contests forever, and both achieve what we want. My question to you is, do you have the courage? The Game Master is a very powerful person. Taking him down will be very, very difficult. I think you can help me do it. Will you? Will you help me, Raoul?
What do you have in mind?
Chapter 95, The Watching Room, Part 17? I can't remember how to read Roman numerals once you get this high. 19? Question mark? I feel like we didn't do 18. I feel like we were on 16 last I checked. Because X is 10. I'm bad at Roman numerals. We're going to pretend that I got it correct, okay? We're going to pretend that I got it correct. Raoul and Cat Scratcher are teaming up to take down the Game Master. What does this mean for the mysterious runners of the detective competition? I think Raoul's going to get him to explain it, what he wants to do, and then turn around and say, fuck you, I'm not doing that. This is bad. Is it? I'm not sure. Yes, it is, Greg. Yeah, she's not going to agree with them. They basically put her in a situation where she's going to help Cat Scratcher. Or she's going to find out what he wants and then turn around and say, fuck you. We can't if Cat Scratcher trying to undermine the contest. We didn't expect to team up with Raoul. We'll have to rethink our model for success. Probably should have ditched the whole mysterious Game Master concept. I told Conver it creates trust issues. The detectives are right to be suspicious of an omnipresent voice telling them what to do. It's in our nature to question stuff after all. Yes, he's already ordered all these criticisms and ignored them. Nothing we can do about it now. Well, we could chime in and stop hit them. That's our last resort. We don't even know what they're planning. There is no plan. This is part of the Cat Scratcher's bluff, isn't it? He's trying to trick Raoul into helping him, but he won't help her. What if it isn't a bluff? What if he's actually trying to recruit Raoul into his big revolution idea? Raoul's smart, she won't fall for this. Not without questioning him thoroughly. I hope so. And she agreed to help him. Really? No questions asked? Are we really that untrustworthy? Apparently. Hope you're making notes. We've got to figure out how to make Game Master more likeable. Maybe we should have a special catchphrase. What would the catchphrase be? You're stupid, haha. Brilliant. We'll table that for now, Kane. Anyone else have a suggestion? I'm not going to suggest anything. There are much more important things to do. Looks like Raoul's giving up. That means we have to be prepared for whatever they throw at us. As soon as it's confirmed, we'll tell them any outright mutiny or breaking of the rules will result in neither of them getting any prize whatsoever. For example, if Cat Scratcher tells Raoul the solution, or if gives her the big hints that have nothing to do with the backstory as a suspect, they both lose. That's the only thing I can think of that Cat Scratcher could do here. The idea being that he loses on purpose to exchange Raoul helping him with whatever's going on, whatever he's going to go after Conver. Don't you think it's more likely that Raoul is going to lose? All she needs to do is submit a wrong deduction. If that's the case, we may have to alter the rules slightly. We'll say that the detective must find all the evidence and interview all the suspects before they're allowed to submit a deduction. And since Cat Scratcher can't give hints, Raoul won't lose unless they wait around for 8 hours. Which buys us time to scrounge up legal protection for Conver. Sounds good. I don't know if Conver will allow a late rule change like that. He's often pedantic, to his detriment. Well, if he doesn't allow it, it's on him. Guys, something's happening. Oh no. Where did Cat Scratcher get that paper? I don't know. Paper's always a bad sign. Yeah, it's not 1971 anymore. We can go digital and save more trees. It's not what I mean. I suspect that Cat Scratcher is about to make a careful negotiation with Raoul, and to make sure she follows her word, he's going to have us sign a contract. How far ahead did he plan this? He was in the Canadian competition. He's had at least 4 years, I think. Cat Scratcher is not my first choice. Choosing him was clearly a mistake. I will speak with Conver. And make sure those criminal game masters are sufficiently punished. Chapter 96. Breaking the System. Does the mysterious detective contest even matter anymore? Cat Scratcher proposes that he and Raoul team up to take down the Game Master and stop these questionable contests. So tell me, what's your plan? First you agree to submit an incorrect deduction. That will make my victory clean. Then we will use the winnings of the contest to destroy the reputation of the contest where it matters most. Among the innermost detective circles. That's where you can help me, Raoul. Criminals are forced to participate in the contest. Detectives are free to say no. And if you can convince them... You're right. It wouldn't be hard either. There are many detectives in the contest who are questioning the Game Master. At the time I stayed out of it, which is actually one of the reasons I was chosen for this final stage.
But as much as I don't trust the Game Master, you may be even more untrustworthy. You've tried to trick me this entire time. And the mystery isn't over yet. This is part of the mystery too.
I understand your concern, Raoul. Don't trust me. Trust this. We both signed a contract that explicitly lays this all out. We'll both have to comply.
Is this some kind of joke? You know I can't read that. How will I know what it says?
True. What if one of the suspects reads it out loud?
You control them. There are a million different tricks you could use.
I don't control them completely. I can't make them lie. I can only write backstories. If I asked them to read a piece of paper, they would have to read exactly what it says.
Is that true, Game Master?
He's not going to help you overthrow him, Raoul. You have to decide if you're willing to go down this path. If you aren't, you can keep trying to figure out this mystery. Or you can just surrender without making me sign a contract with mutually agreed upon terms. Which scenario sounds more fair to you? None of it was fair. But I was backed into a corner.
Mutually agreed terms. How about this? Give me half your winnings. That will cover my medical debt. And I'll agree to help you take down this contest after I lose. Or, if you like, you can just wait around here for a while. I'm patient.
Half? Is that really... I mean, that's kind of a lot. What about 30%?
It's half or nothing.
How much is your medical debt?
I'm not going to tell you.
Will you agree to use 30% of it to take down the Game Master?
Yes.
Very well. Then I agree to give you half my winnings. That's $500,000. Probably more than your debt.
As far as you know.
Huh. Guess I'll write all this down and summon one of the suspects to read it.
Mr. Reck, please.
Fine. Could be any of them, you know. He was right about the rules preventing him from making the actors lie, assuming this wasn't all a big trick. There wasn't a way for him to write a backstory that would account for him not reading the contract correctly. That was too far, even for him. Yes. Please read this piece of paper.
Read everything on it, even instructions that tell you not to read parts of it. Also check to make sure it doesn't have any carbon paper underneath it, or a cutout window in the paper.
Very well. It seems just a simple contract. This mystery-winning agreement, the agreement, is made and entered into on April 3rd, 2020. Raoul, the detective, Cat Scratcher, the criminal. The detective agrees to submit a deduction as soon as the contract is signed. If the deduction is incorrect, the detective agrees to help the criminal by blacklisting the detective contest and ruining its reputation to the best of her ability until 1 year from now, of which the contract will be re-evaluated. In return, the criminal agrees to transfer $500,000 to the detective's bank account. If these terms are violated by either party, the penalty will be $1 million. Once the contest is over, this contract will be renegotiated to better reflect the interest of both parties. Both parties sign here. And then it has a line for it with the signatures. Someone named Norris Sloane has already signed it. My real name. I like my contracts to be simple. Too much legalese. You would never know what you were signing.
True. I guess it will do for now. The idea is to agree on a vague goal in the moment and then sort out the details later.
Exactly. So, does this sound reasonable?
Reasonable? None of this is reasonable. But you got me. At least this way I'll be able to pay my debt off. Mr. Reck, pass me the contract. And make sure it's the same contract you just read aloud to me.
Yes, it is. Signed there. I moved the pen to where his finger was. Cat Scratcher wasn't imitating his voice. Now that I'd had the two of them more, his impression wasn't 100% perfect. After this, I didn't know what was in store. Sometimes you can only work with what you know in the moment. Was I being tricked? It was possible. But I stood a better chance of getting out of this mess at this stage. There were people outside the contest who could help me, but inside, I had no one. Chapter 97. Twisty, twisty, twist. After drawing up a contract to end the contest together with Cat Scratcher, Raoul said her name. But just how will the two of them bring down the entire detective competition? Excellent. Now go ahead and submit your deduction. Doesn't have to have anything to do with the mystery. It should be a bunch of random stuff. As long as it's wrong. Let's end the contest. Forever. By submitting a incorrect deduction, I would be bound by the terms of the contract I'd signed. There was only one thing making me hesitate. The sense that Cat Scratcher was hiding something. Obviously, he was still hiding the solution to the mystery, but throughout our discussion there had been a lot of tension in his voice. He wasn't lying directly enough for me to call him out. But if someone wasn't lying, he wasn't telling the full truth either. Then it was a lot harder for me to tell. Cat Scratcher's goals were pretty explicitly laid out in the contract, though. Maybe there was nothing to worry about.
Agreed. Let's not wait around anymore. Game Master, I'm ready to submit my deduction.
Alright. Submit away. Wait a minute. I could feel Cat Scratcher tense up. His breaths became shorter. He was worried I'd noticed. The Game Master's chime. Hearing it surprised me, because I hadn't heard it since the beginning of the stage. Come to think of it, there was usually much more static when the Game Master talked, but for the past few times I'd heard from him, it'd been pretty clean, even through the speakers. Was it significant? Yes, it was. Cat Scratcher. I already knew he imitated voices, but for some reason I'd never considered that he'd imitate the Game Master himself. But how could he have thrown his voice? It sounded like it was coming from where the speakers were. Maybe he had some kind of portable mini-speaker that he could place in different locations and speak through? That seemed fairly plausible. But what did this change? Even if he had imitated the Game Master, so what? I tried to think over the past few conversations. Last time the Game Master had taken away Wish and Poroboy, if that was Cat Scratcher, how could he have done that? Well, Vesh was simple enough. It's not like Cat Scratcher wasn't allowed to open the soundstage door, and her handler probably assumed I was done with the mystery. But Poroboy must have been fooled into thinking Cat Scratcher was the Game Master himself. Or was he? Who was Poroboy? If Cat Scratcher had been pretending to be the Game Master when Poroboy was brought in to help me, then Poroboy couldn't have been brought in from the outside, because Cat Scratcher could not have been allowed to bring in anyone from the outside, which meant Detective Poroboy was a suspect.
Hold on.
What's the problem?
Where did Detective Poroboy go?
He left.
You're lying. I can tell. I was distracted a little by Vaisht, but I don't remember hearing Poroboy leave.
I saw him leave.
Another lie. Where are you, Poroboy?
I'm right here. Damn it.
Mr. Egg, do you know Detective Poroboy?
No. I've never seen him before. What are you talking about, Rael?
Poroboy, I'm wondering. Who do you work for?
Nobody. I'm a self-employed detective.
Where do you live?
Well, I used to live in New York City. I live here in Mysteryville now.
I see.
In order to fool me into thinking Poroboy was brought into the contest, Cat Scratcher had made the contest part of Poroboy's fictional backstory. It was so underhanded. But I was finally understanding the true nature of the mystery.
Poroboy, do you know Mrs. Reg?
I'm not allowed to talk about to anyone involved with my investigations.
You were investigating her.
She was involved, that is all I can say.
Do you know a Mrs. Habit?
I do not.
Do you know Mrs. Taffy?
Do
you know Mrs. Taffy?
I'm not allowed to...
I see, so Mrs. Taffy and Mrs. Reg are involved in an investigation.
I think this has gone far enough. Raoul, I no longer require your services.
Too bad. You're suspicious too.
Well, Raoul, you seem to be catching on to something. But it's not too late. You've only just begun to see the real mystery, and you're probably going to submit an incorrect deduction anyway. I truly hope you'll reconsider.
By that car at the crime scene, is that your car?
No, absolutely not.
You're lying. There's dummies around the crime scene. Do you recognize them? No, lying. But none of this means you killed Mrs. Reg. You could still be innocent. But I need you to tell me the truth. Where did you see those dummies before?
When I was interviewed for a mysterious detective competition, I was sad to be rejected. I brought some souvenir dummies from the Detective Noman who had left the competition just to see what it would be like to be in the contest.
So you had the dummies with you in your house here?
Yeah, but they were stolen.
Tell me more about your investigation, please. Your innocence is on the line. Mrs. Reg is dead. At least tell me what you were investigating her for.
Infidelity. Infidelity? What?
That both Miss Reck and Miss Taffy were involved in an infidelity investigation. So Miss Reck was having an affair with Miss Taffy.
Oh, yes.
But you hit Miss Taffy with your car, right?
Yes.
Interesting. I remember Miss Reck told me that her lungs were damaged. And Mr. Reck told me she had lung cancer and that he was working on a cure.
Yes, that's right. So what reason would I have to kill her? I was trying to save her life.
Sure, you were trying. But it didn't work, did it?
What? I was trying.
So I'm right. It's strange. This place I found Miss Reck was in a sewer. The crime scene was clearly a car accident. So here's what I think. I think the car accident was originally set up by Mrs. Reck's real body. But someone moved her to the sewer. Someone who didn't want her body to be examined by a coroner. Someone whose cancer-curing drug had in fact gone horribly wrong. I don't know how Miss Taffy fits into all of this, but that's the final piece of the puzzle.
Oh, here she comes now. How convenient.
Yes, it is.
What's going on here?
Were you having an affair with Miss Reck?
What? No.
That's a lie. What's the real reason you have a bandage over your arm?
I told you I killed my arm.
Another lie. You were hit by Detective Cora-Boy's car.
Well, fine, that don't mean I killed Miss Reck.
Another lie.
Hold on a minute, Raoul. I know you can tell when someone's lying by the pitch of their voice and the tension in their throat, but it's something I'm familiar with myself as a vocal specialist. Where all my suspects are actors pretending to be characters. They are constantly lying, even when they are telling the truth of the fictional world I created. And earlier, you were unable to tell if Miss Taffy was lying down about the cut on her arm, so therefore you are full of it. You haven't been able to tell whether any of them are saying what they're saying is a lie.
You got me. Too late though. I already have everything I need.
Let's fucking go! Raoul, let's fucking go. I think that she should get more awards for winning this than any of the other people who won their contest because she had so many odds stacked against her. The true answer was taking shape, and now all I had to do was collect my thoughts and submit my deduction. Let's fucking go, Raoul. I love her. She's so good. Let's fucking go. I'm so glad that she's the one that we get to play as in this final section. Chapter 98. Submit. Detective Raoul has turned the tables on Cat Scratcher after figuring out his most nefarious trick. Now she has everything she needs to solve the mystery. This was it. Once I submitted my full correct deduction, the contract I'd signed would be null and void. Cat Scratcher had been a very dangerous opponent. The way he controlled the backstories was ingenious, but he couldn't stop the real Game Master from chiming in. And so, it had all fallen apart.
Sorry for the brief interlude, but I will now submit my final deduction.
Wait, Rule. You're right. I wasn't being entirely honest about my motivations. I do want to take down the Game Master, but the problem extends beyond the Game Master. After this, you know what happens to me. I get put back in my cage. Society is safer, cleaner, and better. Right. But then again, do you want to know why I was locked up for murder? I killed a prison guard who was abusing his power. I felt I had no choice. When you kick people into a corner and pretend they don't exist, it's easy to pretend like everything's great and fine. But it's not. Who do we lock up? And why do we lock them up? The politicians who kill millions by voting for war over diplomacy. The countless stories of rich getting away with anything they want because they can afford the best lawyers in the world. It makes me sick. I thought I could change it. If I was only given resources to start with, and freedom. But perhaps I was only kidding myself. There's only so much one person can do.
Should there be more scrutiny about who gets put away? Absolutely. Our prisons should have a higher quality of life for inmates. Prisoner abuse should not be allowed to happen. I believe in rehabilitation, but sometimes people are too far gone. You shouldn't be brought back into society, Cat Scratcher. You belong in prison. Maybe I do. Am I too far gone then? Yes. And maybe because of that, you never would have succeeded. even with my help. But my promise to you is that I will try to hold those with power accountable, to the best of my ability.
Well, guess I'll have to be satisfied with that.
Good, because I've solved it. This was the solution to your mystery. Detective Poorboy was hired by Miss Reck to investigate his wife for infidelity. While watching her, Poorboy saw Miss Taffy kill Miss Reck. Or so he thought. He hit Miss Taffy with his car in an attempt to stop her escape, but Miss Taffy convinced him to help her instead, probably by revealing that Miss Reck's death was completely accidental and that she was being framed somehow. So they set Miss Reck beside the car and bushed in the hood, disguising her death as a car accident. Waiting for the body to be discovered. The only problem is, Mr. Reck was the one who discovered it. His cancer-curing drug had actually failed, killing Miss Reck, and the evidence was in her lungs. If police investigated the body, he would be shut down. So he tossed her body into the sewer and replaced it with a dummy he took from Poorboy. To make this seem less weird, he placed dummies all over the neighborhood, trying to erase the idea that this was some kind of serious crime that needed police investigation. Unfortunately for him, the body did not fall into the sewer water, but onto a platform, so the autopsy can reveal whether I'm right or not. And with that, I submit my deduction.
Detective Raoul, you have just won the mysterious detective competition. The doors will open soon. Stand by.
Wow, I really did it.
Congratulations. Oh, thank God. You don't have to play this jerk anymore. My role should have been fleshed out way more. Barely had any motivation to speak of.
What about me? You completely skipped the part we were supposed to think I killed Miss Reck because I thought she'd cured lung cancer and she was hugging on the miracle pills to herself. Oh, that never even crossed my mind. Some detective you are. Yes, I am. Would you stop saying that?
I'm sorry, Raoul. I had to stay in character.
No worries. Wasn't your fault.
Yeah, I guess it wasn't. I'm not going to feel guilty about it. I'll take back my apology. Goodbye.
Okay.
Bye, Raoul. Have fun with your millions of dollars, you elitist.
What?
Bet you're excited to leave this place, Raoul. Good job with the mystery.
Thanks.
So, you did it. I'm glad it was you. Please keep your promise.
I will. Because it isn't a promise to you. It's a promise to myself. So you can be sure I'll keep it.
Goodbye.
Goodbye, Cat Scratcher. This is it. Goodbye, Mysteryville.
Things got really desperate for a second. But my brain pulled through for me. Though I was exhausted, I was also excited. Couldn't wait to get out of here. Back to the real world. Back to Weisht. Who's left? Belladonna, you've come in just at the end. That was Raoul, the blind detective. She won. She won. She had to go against Cat Scratcher, and there was some bullshit. He was pulling some fucking bullshit. Because he lied about what his main ability was. Because he said that his main ability, the reason he was called Cat Scratcher, was because he lied on his application and said that his main ability was that he scratches people. Like a cat. No, his actual main ability was the ability to perfectly mimic people's voices. He has the ability to perfectly mimic people's voices, and also throw his voice like a fucking ventriloquist. And he was throwing his voice during that final case to make it sound like the Game Masters were talking to Raoul, and she couldn't tell that it wasn't the Game Masters talking to her because she's blind. There was some bullshit happening in that last one. I agree with her crash out she almost had. Okay, chapter 99. Familiar Faces. Detective Raoul has won the mysterious detective competition. Now it's time to step out of the Cat Scratcher's playground and back into the real world. Oh, her name is Amita. Amita? Amita. I'm gonna go Amita. Roll.
Yeah, I missed you too. Even if it was only a few minutes. Wow, everyone's here.
You bet. Came all the way to LA to see you face off against Cat Scratcher. Fun fact, it was worth it.
How have you been doing?
Well, since I was eliminated back in Stage 4, Rose and I went our separate ways. I decided to retire. I'm done with mysteries, especially after you know what happened. But I'm a lot happier now.
That's good.
Well, nice to see you, Raoul.
Take care, Ashdown.
I was really sad about what happened to him, but at least it sounded like he moved on. Hey, good job.
And now?
Yeah, it's me, you got it.
How are you?
Pretty good. My application was accepted. I'm gonna be a detective.
Oh, you went one already? Could have fooled me.
Yeah, I guess I did. Nah, I'd just taken an online course. But since I did so well in the contest, a certain famous detective helped me out.
How does a name Redwood Jed rely?
You guessed it right, huh? Keep an eye out for more exciting things from me in the future.
Can't, but I'll keep an ear out.
Alright, sorry. Maybe Regula had taken the Game Master's thorough assessment to heart. Wherever the case was, I'm just glad she decided to help now. Hey, it's you, my best friend. Nice job.
Who are you?
So how are you going to spend that money?
Paying off my dad. I'll probably donate the rest to charity.
Can I convince you to donate it to me?
Probably not.
Oh well, it was worth a shot.
Do I know you?
Of course you do. You remember on the train? When you bumped into me very briefly, and then I said whoops. Oh, be sure to put it in your autobiography.
Sure thing. Oh, wait, I sort of did remember him? Hackett? He'd actually been ranked fairly high. I wonder how he'd pulled that off.
Good work.
Thanks.
I did not expect that Cat Scratcher would use me in his mystery. If he hadn't, he would have figured out Paraboy much earlier, I imagine.
I don't know. He was really had me fooled until I heard the Game Master's chime. I guess he couldn't imitate the sound of that.
Yes, it would have been very hard to have a vibraphone from within the contest. I tried.
I'm not gonna ask.
Good. I'll be hearing more about you in the coming years. I'm sure of it.
Thanks.
Keep fighting. It was thanks to Norman's weird habit that Cat Scratcher had fooled me with the dummies. But I couldn't really blame him. Cat Scratcher had intent on bending the rules. Even without the dummies, he would have figured out some other way to trick me. So you won. It was very entertaining.
You mean for it to be? I wanted to have it wrapped up right at the start. But you probably would have done as soon as you found the real body.
I might have.
Is it just me, or are you speaking with a little more assurance?
No, you're right. After the contest, using my method so much, I can control it better now. I can access it when I need to, but I am no longer in constant pain.
It's great.
Yes, I met my goal. Well, keep questioning authority.
I plan to.
Good. I remembered how weak Ainz had sounded, and how she was fighting and sick most of the time. I was glad she'd gotten better, thanks to the contest. You can't see it, but I'm wearing the most ridiculous outfit I could find.
Oh, really?
So, if you fully understood my joke about the fish and the bear...
I got that one all the way back in the second stage, remember?
What? Alright, then did you hear my joke about the bear duck in the bar?
Yeah.
Fooled again.
Did you find the meaning of Sagiarias or whatever you were talking about back in the fifth stage?
No, that's a mystery I've yet to solve. But I'm right up to 800 mysteries now, so I'm on a roll.
That's quite an accomplishment.
Yeah. I just focused on one at a time, and before I knew it, in just 1 week I'd solved 5 cold cases that had plagued police for decades. All it took was standing on my head. And the reason it works is that most mysteries are upside down. As usual, I had no idea what he was talking about.
What did you think of Cat Scratcher's mystery?
Not great, but the cheats he used were interesting.
Yeah, that's what I think too.
Well, see you at the circus.
I'm never, ever going to the circus. Ever.
Joke's on you. You're already there.
It's strange as always.
You did it. Cool. I recorded the whole thing secretly, streamed it live.
How many people were watching it?
Only like 12 people. This contest is super niche apparently. But I get it. Almost nobody watches me streaming myself solving mysteries. Probably because it's just me looking into space, thinking to myself a lot.
Can be.
Hey, you can get a new cane now. Please get one. Alright, bye.
Turns out she was right. The cane I was using broke only 2 days later.
That dog is fearsome.
Really? I imagine she looks very sweet.
No, she'd look like she's from hell. Anyway, congratulations. I know Cat Scratcher was planning on fighting the entire prison industrial complex and the Game Master from worth only $1 million. But you gotta let people pursue their dreams.
I didn't know either, but seeing how smart he turned out to be, maybe he had a complicated plan. I'll never know now.
Yeah,
How's the cows?
we're still on speaking terms. Anyway, I won't bore you with the details of my life. Take care.
Bye, Snakes. He sounded distracted. Probably because he was having problems with the cows. But it wasn't really my business.
Hey.
It's you. I mean, it's news.
Yeah, good job with that stuff you did. And I just want to apologize that I wasn't there to help you out.
It's fine.
I know you don't always want my help, but I forgot what I was gonna say. Something apology. Alright, good job, we're done here.
Okay. She was even further gone than usual. But I appreciated her attempt to apologize.
Awesome job.
I didn't recognize your voice.
It's Bobo.
Alright. Sorry about that. It was very crowded.
I'd walked into him in stage 1 by accident. No big deal. Just wanted to ask you for your autograph. Excuse me. What?
Roll has to hear this right away.
Fine, I'll get it later.
Are you the greeter?
That is correct.
I thought I heard you were fired.
I was. Actually, I want to thank you, Rail. Because you figured out the Cat Scratcher was speaking as the Game Master. It turns out that's how he was able to fail Rain, kill herself by the murder back in stage 4.
What? He did what? That?
Yeah, but then he pinned it on me, which is why I was fired. After a short investigation, we found out he'd smuggled tiny speakers by disguising them as box of pills. All he needed to do was attach one half of a pill to a PA speaker and speak into the other half to pretend to be the Game Master.
Interesting. It was so small that even if I could have seen it, I wouldn't have.
Yeah, nobody noticed it. Anyway, I was rehired 2 minutes ago.
Good for you.
Thank you, but I'm not here just for fun. You're invited to visit the Game Master immediately. The car is waiting for you. It's entirely optional if you receive the money whether you accept this invitation or not.
I accept, but where am I going?
The American headquarters of Valid Security. Follow me. There were so many detectives I wanted to talk to, but the greeter was rushing me along. I still have many questions. Maybe I'd finally get some answers about the contest. God, this might be the last section. Damn, this game has been good. Also, I look like I have jaundice. Holy shit, this screen is yellow. I look like I have jaundice. What if you were playing game and then suddenly your pigeon had jaundice? What if? What would you do? What would you do if your pigeon suddenly had jaundice? I don't know. I'm just yellow now. Liver failure. Go. I think I like that Raoul is the girl we're finishing with. I like that she's the finish. Chapter 100. The Winning Room. Part 20. The mysterious detective competition is over. But what is the true purpose of the contest? The only way to find out was to accept the Game Master's invitation. After a short car ride, I arrived. Violet Security. The Game Master's true identity was the CEO. What did he want? Why did he create the detective competition? I left Vaish in the car. The greeter told me I should be game to the top floor. I keep forgetting to put the VODs up. I keep forgetting. And also I have to, like, check them and stuff. That's where the Game Master was waiting.
Good. You're here. Come in, come in. Glazed corn.
What?
It's an anagram for congrats, Rail. Thanks. The $1 billion will be transferred to your account very soon. Billion? Oops, I meant to say million. My mistake. I'm always mixing those two things up. I'm so terrible. I thought you were getting $1 billion for a second. I'm the worst. It's fine. I was just surprised. Good.
Weren't there other game masters?
Yeah, there were other ones, but they were very busy. As soon as the contest ended, they had other important work to do. But anyway, congratulations again. So why? Why did you hold this big detective competition? These competitions are all. I've had 6 competitions now. I have 2 more on the way. But why? That depends. Why? It's a project of mine. I've always liked puzzles, and I've always liked watching people solve them. Just for fun. That is all.
Really? That's all? It must have cost millions of billions of dollars. You just like puzzles?
Don't interrupt me. Sorry, I thought you were done talking. That is all, but it depends. It depends on the decision that you make. That's all I'm going to say about it. Unless you agree to help me out, I can't say anything more. Do you want help?
What? That was so vague. I wish I had more details, but I knew I wouldn't get any unless I agreed. After all he put me through. Did I trust him enough to help him out? Who even was he? Some billionaire CEO. There couldn't possibly be a problem I could help him with, could there? Even if there was, would I want to? Well, as long as there wasn't a contract to sign beforehand, wouldn't hurt just to find out. I've gotten so far. I would forever regret not knowing.
Fine, I will. I'll help you. Good. Well, enough this fun garbage. Here's what's going on. Over the past 6 years, I've been assembling the greatest detectives from around the world. The first contest was in Russia. Detective Kim Yupsenkia, Mastermind Indigo Ibramova. Indigo put a big fight, but Ken won that one. Second one was in France. Detective Dora Ma lost her mastermind, Jamie Crayu. She was pretty sad about it. Oh well. Next was Canada. Haney, or Detective Lucria Downs, lost her mastermind, Joanne Tremblay. But we still found a use for her. You will see, we'll make use of every skilled person even if they don't win. Then in the United Kingdom, a competition, a boy named Lewis Dawson won. That was a problem. More on that later. Mastermind Hamish King lost. Then most recently, the Italian competition. Detective Greg Machetti won. Mastermind Chiara Moore lost. Now I'm happy to report. In the American competition, Detective Amina Raoul won. And Mastermind Norris Sloan lost. So that happens when they... What happens when they win? Well, if they agree to help me. This happens. I'm holding up a small badge. It's shaped like a square. It's an indication that they are a member of the Winners' Square, a team made up of the winners of the competitions. As I said earlier, there was a problem with Lewis. He was simply too young right now to be in the Winners' Square. However, he helped me out by being a voice master, someone who is in charge of dozens of customer service type game masters that help during the early stages when there are too many detectives to talk to personally. And game masters, some of them are Winners' Square members. Craig, Kane, Joanne, Jamie. Some were simply involved in past contests, like Lacria Downs, Nelly Murcofe, and Victor Rosso, and some are involved in upcoming contests. Game Masters Clark Henderson has brought on board early. That's so we can learn how to work in order to help me create the best possible competition in Australia. Right now, I'm eyeing Detective Slake as to be a game master in the Australian competition. He seems like he has a sharp mind, and he could also fill a spot on the criminal game master's side. This is a lot to take in. Too bad. I'm going to just keep explaining it. You're probably thinking, what's so special about the Winners' Square? The truth is, I need world's best detectives in order to solve the world's most challenging mystery. This mystery is so incredibly difficult and so wide-reaching, I cannot remain unsolved. So let it continue. It would mean the downfall of society. That is why I've invested my time and my money and my energy into assembling this team. The Winners' Square will be able to solve it. I'm sure of it. And you would be an extremely valuable member. If you agree to help me, this is your last chance to say no. I will tell you what we know about this challenging mystery. You will get to work with the best detectives in the entire world. And justice will be served. Or you can sign an NDA and take your millions of dollars and never hear from me again. Provided you, of course, that you were able to solve this mystery without... We are able to solve this mystery without your help. If we do not, then you might end up dead.
What a strange predicament. I didn't trust him, but I understood now why the contest had been so secretive. I had to concentrate on his voice. I had to know from him. But why? Why do you want to solve this mystery so badly? Surely it wouldn't affect you at all to leave it unsolved. If you wanted, you could hide in a vast underground bunker, protect yourself from robotic arm move, and book a trip to space. Nobody would be able to hurt you.
I know. That is difficult for you to trust me. I am a terrible person, after all. But when I say that leaving this mystery unsolved will result in the downfall of society, I mean that. A bunker would not be safe, armor would not be safe, space would not be safe. Very soon there will be nowhere to hide. It's a bubbling pot, about to boil over. So nobody is safe, not even a mega billionaire like me.
I could hear it in his voice. He was telling the truth. I don't trust you, but I believe you.
So accept. Welcome to the winner's square. Now then, there is much more to discuss. I'd like you to meet your other team members. They are working on the next contest. Sounds good. This is a very long handshake. Sorry.
I don't know if this is the right move or not. I promised myself I'd hold Power accountable. But power depends on context. And I'd heard fear in Conver's voice. There's something in the world more powerful than him. A mystery that requires a whole team of insanely skilled detectives to solve. A mystery that could bring a billionaire to his knees. It sounds dangerous. Feels exciting. Smells like an adventure. Tastes like a mouth-watering escapade. I'll try my best to solve it. Yeah, I'd be excited to do the Australian edition if they ever come out with it. Ooh, time for jazzy music. Time for jazzy music. Well, we have silhouettes of our friends in the background. But yeah, I'd be interested if they did ever did another one of these, because I know they have the prequel. Let me check. Let me check if there is a... Locked On Games made it. They have Methods the Canada Files, Methods the Illusion Murders, a game called Evolving World Catalyst's Wake, and a game called Broken Minds. We might try. We might try some of these other games. I think I'm going to add the rest of these games to our list. Because there's some, like, that Methods the Illusion Murders looks good. It looks really good. And you'll play as Red July for the whole of that one, from the looks of it. And The Evolving World, that's not set in the same universe, that's set in a post-apocalyptic universe. That looks interesting as well. I might add the rest of these games to our list of, like, potential games for the future. But no, those last couple chapters were shorter than the others, so we actually managed to finish it in a good amount of time. We've done, like, this has been a great game. I did so many voices. I did, like, over 200 voices. And you can be proud of me for that. I can't guarantee the voices are consistent across every episode. I think some characters' voices were completely different between every episode. But, like, some of the characters had the same voice the whole time. No, that was great. I love that. Who are we gonna raid tonight? Who are we gonna raid tonight? Will be fun to watch. Everyone's playing Tomodachi Life, and I'm not really in the mood for Tomodachi Life. Let's raid Ember, because it's a birthday stream. Let's raid her for her birthday. I just spelt raid entirely wrong. Nice. Well, that game was fucking great. All the art was really good. The, like, characters were all unique and interesting. There weren't really any characters who were, like, the same. Not, like, and if there was characters that were the same, quotation marks, then, like, it was an intentional joke. I like that. That would have been really hard to come up with. Whoever had to write this, hats off to you, because this is fucking not easy to write that many characters and have each of them be unique and interesting. And unique and interesting enough that I could come up with unique voices for all of them. That was good. That was good. This is definitely going on the list for the end of the year. Right. Anyway. I've been Pigeon Wishes, your resident Pigeon Fae from the UK. I hope everyone has a good night, and I will see you all on Monday for D&D. Have a good time, everyone. Ta-ra!